Insurance isn't a one-size-fits-all, and shopping for it shouldn't feel like squeezing into something that just doesn't fit. That's why drivers have enjoyed Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. With the Name Your Price tool, you tell them what you want to pay, and they show you options that fit your budget. Enough hunting for discounts, trying to calculate rates, and tinkering with coverages. Maybe you're picking out your very first policy. Or maybe you're just looking for something that works better for you and your family. Either way, they make it simple for you to see your options. No guesswork, no surprises. Ready to see how easy and fun shopping for car insurance can be? Visit Progressive.com and give the Name Your Price tool a try. Take the stress out of shopping and find coverage that fits your life on your terms. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot here with you, live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel on a very big day in Buffalo. We are just minutes away from puck drop, Game 5 in Buffalo, between the Montreal Canadiens and the Buffalo Sabres. Winner takes a game lead in pursuit of the conference finals and, of course, the Stanley Cup. Huge win for the Sabres a couple of nights ago to even that series. They'll look to take the lead tonight. And we look forward to the 2026 season for the Buffalo Bills this evening, as the schedule for those Buffalo Bills will be officially revealed in about 30 minutes from now. We've seen many leaks. I know the entirety of the schedule has been pretty much leaked, and my sources tell me that it's official, and I'm pretty certain it is. But for the sake of having fun, which we like to do here on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel, we will wait until it is officially official before we dive into the full schedule in its entirety. But until then, we will talk about what we know for certain has already been confirmed. And folks, this is an insane schedule. You know, when you saw the opponents, you could already come to the conclusion this was going to be a wild year for Buffalo. Well, honestly, opponents aside, when you think about it, you got a brand new stadium opening up. You got a brand new coaching staff. And then you usher in the list of opponents the Buffalo Bills have on their slate this upcoming season. It's going to be a wild, wild year. And when you factor in when some of these games are being played, not only the day, but of course, no, I mean, really just the day. When you think about when these games are being played, it's pretty wild what we have in store for us this upcoming season. And I cannot wait. Good to have so many of you in. I see my man Jay Ham in the building, my man Damon in the building. We got Koala here as usual. Bunch of others. Thanks so much for tuning in. We got Marcus becoming a member. Shout out to you, Marcus. Rico will ring that bell for you when he gets his arse in here. I don't know what he's doing. He's on Canadian time tonight. He's probably putting his Montreal jersey on to come on here and troll us all. Rico will be joining us at some point. All right, so let's talk about it. The Buffalo Bills schedule will be officially released in about 25 minutes. We will take a look at their schedule release video. From what I was told, they were filming the video today. Josh Allen will be a part of it. I had some boots on the ground that were witnesses of this. What exactly the video will be, I have no idea. Last year, as you might remember, they asked AI to create the schedule release, and tongue-in-cheek, the joke was it wasn't artificial intelligence, but it was Allen Iverson. That was last year's. That was cool. The hype for the Chargers, by the way, and their social media team has never been higher. We'll see if they can deliver. That social media team, is anybody under more pressure at their job than the Chargers social media team? They have overperformed each and every year during schedule release to the point where I'm not sure they can live up to expectations anymore. They keep setting the bar so high You got to wonder when they're going to eventually fall underneath it, but they've yet to do that. We'll see what they come out with. We'll take a look at all of those later on. Well, not all of them. There's 32 of them. We'll take a look at some notable ones. Do me a favor, when we get to that point in the chat, if you're watching some of these schedule release videos, throw them in the chat. If there's any of them that are worth watching that stood out that are awesome, we'll definitely take a look at the Bills right off the bat. We'll take a look at the Chargers, see if they lived up to the hype, and maybe a few others. All right, so let's get into it. We know where the Buffalo Bills will be beginning their season, on the road. We know who they will be playing against in their first ever game at the new Highmark Stadium at home. Let's start with week 1. And right out of the chutes, folks, this ain't no New York Jets week 1, 1 p.m. The Buffalo Bills will be on the road at a place where Josh Allen has never won. The Houston Texans, week 1, 1 p.m. Eastern. This is a very, very interesting draw, week 1. Because the Bills have struggled, maybe more so in Houston than anywhere else. They just cannot get it right out in Houston, including last year. The Bills played the Texans a season ago, late November, and you could argue it was their worst offensive performance of the entire season. Terrible. Josh Allen was sacked 8 times, threw 2 interceptions, 3 total turnovers for the Bills offense. Sub 20 points for a team that was averaging just shy of 30 points per game. Scoring sub 20, very difficult to keep the Buffalo Bills below 20. The Houston Texans did that. Why? Well, they just so happen to be the best defense in the entire NFL. Maybe you throw an argument in there with Seattle. If you want to do that, then fine. They're far and away the best defense in the AFC. And they've proven that against just about everybody, including the Buffalo Bills. 8 sacks last year. 8. We're talking about a team 2 years ago, an offensive line that kept Josh Allen as clean as any other quarterback in the entire NFL, the least sacked quarterback in the league in 2024. Obviously, a dip in that production last year, but that Houston Texans game was a massive outlier. Do you understand how insane 8 sacks in a single game is? The fact the Bills had a chance to win that game in the end is a minor miracle. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the Houston Texans offense is not world class. As you might remember, C.J. Stroud did not play in that game, but I'm not sure it would have mattered because when C.J. Stroud was playing later on in the year, not great. You saw the playoff performances. But how did the Texans wind up positioning themselves to get into the postseason and really make things scary in the postseason? That defense. That Houston Texans defense single-handedly won them a couple of games last year, and I think, in my opinion, far and away the best defense the Bills will face this upcoming season, and it just so happens to be in week 1. And it just so happens to be the first ever game for Joe Brady as head coach. You want to talk about a tall task. Week 1, on the road, against the best defense in the NFL with a first-year head coach. What do you got, Joe Brady? What do you got, Josh Allen, who has not won in that stadium, has played some of his poorer performances in that stadium? What do you got? The expectations are going to be sky high for these Buffalo Bills. Regardless of Sean McDermott being the coach or not, the expectations have not changed. You can argue that they've maybe even gotten higher. Adding DJ Moore, adding more to the defense. Some would say the expectations are higher now because Sean McDermott's gone. Many people thought he was the issue. Well, if he's gone, then the Bills got to be able to get over the hump now, right? Week 1, we are going to learn a lot about these Buffalo Bills, especially on the offensive side of things. I like the fact the Bills are getting this game out of the way week 1 because I think it's going to be a really good benchmark for the season moving forward. You're not going to play a better defense than the Houston Texans. And of course, in week 1, they're going to be fully healthy. You are not going to see a better defense than that. That will be the barometer. Can you pass the test in week 1? Because if the Bills offense can go out there and beat the Houston Texans, if the Bills offense can go out there and show significant signs of improvement compared to how they played against them last year, I'll tell you right now, there's going to be every reason in the world to be as optimistic as you've ever been. On the other hand, if they go out there week 1 and it's business as usual against the Houston Texans, they can't move the ball, they're turning the ball over, they're getting sacked an umpteen amount of times, they can't score 20-plus points, they don't win the football game, voices are going to be loud. They're going to be loud. Because what happens if in week one they can't do what they weren't able to do under Sean McDermott? Then you're just going to hear a ton of criticism right off the bat. It's a huge game. It's a massive, massive game. And, of course, it's going to have playoff implications right off the bat. Guarantee you the Houston Texans will be in significant playoff contention towards the end of the year. If that offense is even remotely improved from a season ago, they could be vying for the 1 seed. That division, somewhat weak. We'll see if the Jaguars take a step back, right? We'll see what the Colts have. Will they be more of the version of themselves the first half of the year last year or the second half of the year? If the Jags take a step back and the Indianapolis Colts wind up being what they were in the second half of the year, to me, that's the Houston Texans division to take. So that is as tough of a week one game as I think you can draw when you factor in all the circumstances. It's on the road. It's the best defense. And you got a first-year head coach going out there trying to figure out that defense. But what I like about it, beyond it being the benchmark for Buffalo, it's going to set the tone for the rest of the year. The Houston Texans, they do not have film on a Joe Brady-led team. They have film on a Joe Brady-led offense. But it feels like we have been given the impression that this offense is going to evolve beyond what it has been now that Joe Brady is the head coach. We've heard this. Khalil Shakir, we're going to see different stuff from him. We're going to see more from Keon Coleman, right? We've been sold on that. DJ Moore, the new big addition. How's he going to be implemented into this offense, and what's that going to look like? Is that going to transcend Josh Allen's game back to where it was when Stephon Diggs was on the team? And then on the defensive side of the ball, what I like about this game is you're not going up against an offensive juggernaut in Jim Leonard's first game as DC with a very young defense. You got to think that this defense, more than anything, look, Joe Brady's been in the building for years. Josh Allen's going on a decade as the leader of this team. You got to think if anybody's going to be ready to rock right off the bat, it would be the offense. You would hope it would be the offense. The defense, it's probably going to take some time. They're probably going to need to try to get their feet underneath them over the first month. And if you were to start the season off week one against the Rams, if you were to start the season off week one against really any of the better offenses in the league, you might feel a bit uneasy about it. And we'll talk about week two and maybe why you might feel uneasy about that. But in week one, you're going up against an offense that I think is very pedestrian. It's what held them back last year. If the Texans had, if the Texans had near a top 10 offense in 2025, I'd love to hear the argument how they wouldn't have been the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. They really could have been. If their offense was just a little above average, I really do think that that's what they could have been. And if they end up doing that this year, that's what they could end up being. But I got to believe it, or I got to see it to believe it. CJ Stroud was really just noticeably poor towards the end of the year. I got to see better production. His rookie year was unbelievable. It feels as though it's been a drop down ever since. Let's go. Sabres on the board, 2 minutes in. 2 minutes flat, 18 minutes left in the first period. The Sabres up by 1, wasting no time in Buffalo in Game 5. The Sabres light the lamp 2 minutes into Game 5. 1-0 Sabres. Let's go. Got off to a hot start in Game 4. Should have been up 2-0. They were up 2-0 for all of one commercial break until one of the worst reverse calls I've ever seen. And I'm so stoked that the Sabres were able to overcome that, because that was your classic quintessential Buffalo BS. It's like the Brandon Cooks no catch last year, the Music City Miracle, 13 seconds, wide right. I mean, whatever. I don't need to list them all to you. They're tattooed onto your brain. It felt like the reversal, because of the goalie interference, was going to be that iconic Buffalo moment where they would have lost, go down 3-1, lose the series as a result, and you could look back and say, man, if the Sabres were up 2-0 in that fourth game with all the momentum on their side, could things have been different? And they somehow were able to overcome it and win the game. I thought they were outplayed for 2 full periods of that game. Really strong third period, and wound up being all the difference. They're now up 1-0. We'll see if they can build on that. Love it. Man, I'm not a huge hockey guy, but with the Sabres in the playoffs, man, I have been just zoned in on this. It is so awesome. It is so awesome because, I have so many buddies who are as diehard a Sabres fans as I am a Bills fan, as many of you are, I'm sure, as well. And to just know what this feels like. When the Bills ended the drought, it was euphoric. I will never forget it. It would take winning the Super Bowl to trump what it felt like for the Bills to end the drought for me. As sad as that is, it is 100% true. And to know that the Sabres not only ended the longest NHL playoff drought in history this year, but to be able to be on the doorstep of a cup, wild stuff. I see somebody in the background who clearly has been having some technical difficulties. I'm wondering if he's ready to rock. He's giving me a bit of a dance move here. He's throwing his hands up in the air. What's going on out there in Canada?
Let's go Sabres.
Yeah, I figured you would be putting on your Montreal jersey. Where is it? You got it hiding?
Psych. Did I say let's go Sabres? Let's go Canadians, baby. Let's go. We can't let the Sabres just take over. We just cannot. We got to give a run for the money. What up, people? What's happening? Listen, I was having some tech difficulties. I showed up, then my internet was acting up, but we back at it again. Feels like we haven't been on in a minute. How we doing, baby?
So great to see you. I'm excited. Let's just dive into it. Sabres are up 1-0. We'll keep an eye on that game, of course, throughout the night.
Let's go.
Rico, to me, and I addressed it off the bat, we got 14 minutes. So I said, I know that the schedule's pretty much leaked. According to my big inside sources, I'm pretty sure. Oh, you know me. Yeah, I'm dialed in. I'm pretty sure it's the schedule, but we'll in the spirit of the game, we'll wait till it's official. But to me, Rico, this day, I love this day. It is the most underrated day of the NFL year, in my opinion. Schedule release to me is awesome. And with the Bills having the list of opponents they have this year, I was even more excited than usual. How do you feel about this day? Do you get as excited as I am for schedule release, knowing it's right around the corner?
When did schedule release become this thing where it's an event and we prepare our Thursday night ready for schedule day, and we have the audacity, myself included, to blame this and blame that, and why are the Bills cursed with having such a schedule? It used to just show up. We just read the paper the next day or get on the old internet and say, okay, this is the schedule. Now it's a thing. It's a to-do. When did this become a thing? And I'll tell you this, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. Every social media account is going to be going ham. The NFL put out a little squib out there saying, hey, we ain't telling y'all what to do, but if you want to touch that Deanna Rossini / Mike Vrabel, I mean, the gloves are off. You can do what you want, but we watching. So we're going to see how this all plays out. I'm looking forward to what the Bills do. I believe last year was
AI.
I forgot what last year was.
AI.
Oh, that's right. AI, yeah. Allen Iverson. That's right. So it's going to be fun to do, but like, I don't know when this became a thing, but it's a thing, and we're excited. And it allows us to dive deep. And we do our yearly prediction, the schedule prediction. Who wins? Who loses? How many? Do the Bills go 0-3 to start the season? Do we go 3-0? We're about to find out. Bot and I go head to head and finding out how ridiculous we sound in making these predictions. But it's fun nonetheless. Let me know how you feel, because I know you're feeling some type of way. I don't know if you've shared already how you're feeling to the people, but you're not so happy camper. Or are you?
No, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about what, of course, is the biggest element of this entire schedule, and that is the holiday games. We will talk about that. I'm sick to my stomach about it. I cannot believe it. I'll give you a little insight before we dive into it.
Yes, sir.
You know, shout out to Nerding on NFL on Twitter. I mean, the GOAT. I don't know how he's getting all the info he does on these games, but he has been my one-stop shop all week for checking in to see when these games are going to be, where the Bills are going to be playing, who they're going to be playing on what week or whatever. Incredible. And late last night, when he tweeted out the Thanksgiving game, and then there were rumors circulating about the Christmas game, Caroline's got to be up for work at like 5. Okay. It's late night. And I just had to say something because I was sick about it. I'm like, this is my worst nightmare. My worst nightmare. If you go back in our archives, there has to be footage of me just saying, for the love of God, please, I never want to play on Christmas. I just don't. Not only is it Christmas, it is Thanksgiving as well. So I say to Caroline last night, I go, honey, I got some bad news. The Bills are playing on Thanksgiving. She goes, oh. I go, I got even worse news. They're playing on Christmas. And thank God she was too tired as the Canadians tie the game up at 1 apiece. Got a feeling this is going to be an instant classic the way it started off here. But yeah, Rico, that part of it was it still has not hit me. We'll talk about it as we go through the schedule. What I want to talk to you about right off the bat, and I already just gave my thoughts on this. The Bills will be facing perhaps their toughest week 1 opponent in some time here, probably dating back to the opener against the Rams coming off the Super Bowl. This is a Bills team week 1 that will be going to Houston, a place where Josh Allen has never won, against the number 1 defense in the NFL, against a team that last year on the defensive side of the ball waxed the Bills' offensive side of things. Week 1, and not to mention, Rico, this is Joe Brady's first ever outing as a head coach. Your initial thoughts as the Bills currently await their first game, and that is the Houston Texans.
What a way to introduce your head coach with a head coach christening. You know what I mean? We're going to dip you into that. You're gonna get baptized by the fire, man. You're going right into week 1 against one of the best defenses in the game, if not the best. And they got better by adding a guy that the Bills have been eyeballing. How crazy is that, right? When the Chiefs took on Xavier Worthy and they made us face Xavier Worthy, obviously, they always make the Bills face the Chiefs. We had to endure the wrath of Xavier Worthy. We also had to hear my guy Bot just go absolutely berserk on why we traded with the Chiefs. How could we let the Chiefs grab Xavier Worthy? We heard it all offseason. And now Caden McDonald's going to be the one creating absolute havoc on an already powerful defensive front with Will Anderson, like Hunter on the one side. Bro, this defense is going to be legit. However, on the offensive side of the ball, I do not trust that quarterback in CJ Stroud. I don't trust him, right? So that's the other side of the football. But to make these guys go 3 in a row on the road against the Texans, I mean, at this point, the message is clear. Bro, y'all got to beat these guys. Y'all got to beat them, and you got to beat them on the road. But to give it to us on week 1, give us a little warm-up. Give us a warm-up. Give us, the Washington Commanders, right? Give us
really?
The
so you that's what you'd prefer? You'd rather have that? Because,
listen, I get it. Ratings, all of that. But, like, I'm more thinking as a my heart is in this as a fan. I want to, what I mean? Boxers, they give them tune-ups. You got to get a tune-up for your big-time boxer. And then when the big event comes down the road, they're oiled up, ready to go. Pause, right? At the end of the day, to go up against the juggernaut defensive unit in the Texans, then allegedly going up against, obviously, week 2, we go up against the Lions. And then week 3, like I saw the Patriots. Bro, they got us going back to back to, like, yo, what y'all trying to do?
We'll talk about it. That first month, Rico. Holy smokes.
What is the NFL trying to tell us? I get it. We love the Bills. You guys are blockbuster. You're America's team. Whatever you want to call the Bills. Give us a gimme at the beginning, at least, to kind of get the mojo flowing. Because what I'd love to see is I'd like to see what they've given the Chiefs to begin with. Because if my conspiracy hat is going to be put on, the Chiefs had a terrible season last year. Their quarterback goes down. So are they going to give them cupcakes to start the year, or are they going to give them a death matches in the first month and say no mercy? I'd love to see what the NFL has done for them. Oh, it's randomized, is it?
Well, they do open up in primetime against the Broncos, do the Chiefs.
So open up against the Broncos. I'd like to see what the next few games, and we'll go through some of them. Yeah. But for the most part, am I happy about the week 1? I'm not thrilled. I wanted to have like a I want to say a softball, a gimme. I don't want to say that because there are no gimmies in this game. But if you're going to set the tone, why not set the tone against the Houston Texans? And that's the way I'm looking at it at this point. I'm going to flip that to you, though. Are you in favor of having a juggernaut of a schedule at the beginning, give all the tough opponents, or are you more like, you know what? If you're gonna get the job done in week 1 against a Texans team, you gotta prove it in front of everybody. What are your thoughts on this week 1 matchup and how they're giving the Bills a big one?
Yeah, in this case, I'm actually in favor of it because other than the Jets and the Dolphins, find me the stinker on the schedule. You could argue maybe the Raiders. I think they'll be better. You could argue the Vikings. I think if Kyler Murray is somewhat close to what he was. Sabres on the board again, baby.
Boo.
2-1. Wow, what a period. What a period. So if Kyler Murray can get back to shades of early Cardinal Kyler Murray, and why can't he? Sam Darnold resurrected his career in Minnesota. So, I think there's possibility there. But, if the Raiders and the Vikings are what they were last year, you could argue those two games. Other than the Jets and the Dolphins, though, the Bills have got a gauntlet week in and week out. I look at week one, and you got DeMeco Ryans in the best defense in the NFL. They don't have tape on what could be a revamped offense with Joe Brady, because we've been given the impression, Rico, there will be more to this offense than there previously was with Joe Brady as the OC. Have you not gotten the impression that there were some handcuffs placed on this Bills offense with the previous regime? That was the impression I've been getting over the last couple of months. I feel like you don't say, we got a different iteration. Oh my God, the Canadians scored instantly. It is now 2-2. This is unbelievable.
Let's go, baby. Listen, you thought you were just going to walk all over us? Heck no.
This is unbelievable.
Keep going.
Yeah. So, 2-2. Sabres, by the way, 3 shots on goal, 2 goals. Canadians, 9 shots on goal, 2 goals. So
efficiency.
You're not kidding. The Bills week one, you got DJ Moore. They got nothing on Josh Allen and DJ Moore, right? Yep. You got Skylar Bell. I'm optimistic about that. And then
you loving that?
Joe Brady. Is there going to be additional wrinkles that maybe were left off the playbook in years past? So I like the fact that you get the best defense in the league without any, warm up themselves, right? Because they got a plan for Josh Allen. Even though they've beaten him every time at home, they got a plan for one of the league's best quarterbacks. I also like the way that this pans out on the two sides of the ball. It's going to give us the instant exam, because to me, this is the ultimate exam for the Bills offense. You pass against the Houston defense, that tells me you can pass against any other team you play the rest of the year. If you go out there and give your best performance, and the bar isn't quite high. It was awful last year, how bad it was. With the 8 sacks, the 3 turnovers, the 19 points, the bar isn't all that high. If you can go out there and put together your best performance against Houston you have in the last several years, then I think the sky's the limit moving forward for this Bills offense. On the other end of things, and you nailed it, I don't trust this Houston offense. At the end of the year there, it's the single reason they were bounced from the playoffs. It's the single reason why I don't think anybody viewed them as a legitimate threat going into the postseason. If that offense was somewhat viable, that would have been one of the scariest teams left. The defense itself almost wound up propelling them through. So you got Jim Leonard in his first ever game as a DC here with the Bills. Very young defense, Rico, going up against an offense that I think can be had. So you got a really, really, quite frankly, you got the ultimate test on offense. But if anybody should be able to pass the test, it should be the Bills offense. This is what stayed the same, or if not gotten better. You still have the same coach, maybe just more added to it. You still have Josh Allen. You add DJ Moore. You add Skylar Bell, right? And then this defense with Jim Leonard, a bunch of young guys, new scheme. I think you're going up against an offense where you are able to get it done more than maybe you would in week 2, which is where we transition to the Bills' first home game.
But before we go to the home game, I gotta bring this point up, which I'm definitely okay with, which brings me back to last year when they made us face the Ravens right off the rip. I was like, golly, we're going up against the Ravens. Okay.
Oh, you know what?
Let's roll. It's always a big, tough matchup. What I loved about going up against the Ravens was everyone's healthy. No excuses. Everyone's healthy. We're not missing this guy. We're not missing that guy. Fast forward to this year, the fact that they said, you know what, Bills, Texans, it's not the middle of the season where somebody's hurt or you're missing this guy, you're missing that guy, you're missing both your right tackle and left tackle. No. Everyone's healthy. Show me what you got. And the message is also for the Texans. CJ Stroud, we question you. We don't know, man. We had Davis long neck, giraffe neck Mills outplaying you at one point. What do you got? We need to see. Are you a bum or are you certified? So the Jim Leonard defense going up against the Texans is going to be its own storyline. But altogether, the biggest storyline here is both teams are healthy. Let's see what you got. And you know week ones are a crapshoot. Nobody's feeling out anybody. We don't know what you've done. Obviously, we have previous film, but new defensive coordinator, new offensive coordinator, all those things shake up things. So week one, everyone healthy makes a huge difference. And that's how you set the tone, which brings us into week 2. I want you to transition in there. I had to bring that point up. Go ahead in week 2 because it's a big one.
Well, I'll transition into week 2 in a minute. I got to transition into the full schedule, Rico, which was just officially released. Why don't you go on over ahead?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Who do you got? It's on the Bills website right now?
It is on the Bills Twitter as we speak. If you want to be so kind as to pull that up for us.
Absolutely. It's officially up and running. Here we go. Let me open that up for us. Ooh, I'm going to have to zoom that sucker in.
Oh, my God. Rico, I can't wait to dive into this. Oh, my goodness.
I can't even zoom in. This is what we got. This is what we got for now. Can you guys see that on the screen? I don't know if you guys can. We're just going to try to figure it out. Week 1, we already know what time it is. We got the Texans. We just spoke on the Texans. Let's dive in into week 2. Your thoughts?
Wow. First, do we want to go in generalities? Because this schedule is insane. I want to point you to one thing that pops out immediately. Do you see the little red banners that pop up on your screen? Folks, let's count aloud like we're in grade school here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 primetime games.
Did I miss one?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. There's 3.
Yeah.
Oh, back to back to back. Are you kidding me?
Dude, so 7 primetime games, 5 games at 1 p.m. Eastern. The Bills play on Thursday, on Friday, on Saturday, on Sunday. They play on Thanksgiving. They play on Christmas. This is one of the more insane schedules you'll ever see. Your initial glimpse when you see those 7 red dots indicating primetime on your screen.
My initial thoughts, what happened to 1 p.m. games? What happened to 1 p.m. games, baby? I get it. We are prime time. We are a bona fide star level team with a franchise quarterback. 7 is that a record? 7 primetime games?
It's got to be a record for us.
My God. Yeah, I'm talking about for the Bills. Is that a record for the Bills? I mean, I love it in 2 ways. I love it because this is the team to watch. Not only do we as Bills fans love watching our squad play, we love it, but the whole NFL does. I've got a lot of my friends that are different. Like, listen, I'm in Canada, which has a melting pot of different people that love their different teams, right? Dude, they love watching the Bills. I'm always constantly, hey, man, what the Bills going to look like this year? Yo, I can't wait to watch the Bills. Man, I want to try to go to a Bills game. Bro, they love the Bills. If they had a second team, it would be the Bills. So this makes sense. The NFL knows it. The world knows it. It's prime time. Listen, it's prime time Bills. Forget about Buffalo Bills. They're called the prime time Bills because look what we're working with, folks. 7 prime time games. And let's start off with the first one. First of all, before we even get to the first one, is 7 too much?
Hold on.
Let me ask you this. Is 7
There's so much going on. For starters, the Sabres just took the lead. It's 3-2 with 8 minutes left in the first period. What the hell? Second of all, before we even do this, did they post the video? Is the video up of the schedule release?
Let me have a look. Let me have a look. See. Let me have a look.
Go take a peek.
Let me take a quick peek here. I think I got something. Let's
cue it up.
Hold on. I see a picture of a cinnamon bun, but that's all I see. I don't see video yet.
No, so that's not it.
That ain't it. Hold on a second.
They were doing something weird earlier, like Facebook
Marketplace. Marketplace. I don't know what's going on. The video is not up yet. So
they're taking their time.
They certainly are. So if you guys see it before I do, let me know. I'm going to refresh my page here. But right now, nothing yet. Nothing's been put out there. Oh, we got a video. Oh, we're in. Give me a second. We're in. We got something. Here we go. Are you guys ready? We got video. All right, Bot, are you ready for this one? Let's cue it up.
Okay, guys, let's get started here. Schedule release. It's finally time. Woo! Yes. I'll kick it off. Picture this. All right, we got a barbershop quartet who sings the schedule. I know some boys from Scarborough that I think will absolutely nail it. They're excellent. Yes, this is a little niche, but this thing could go viral. That's just one idea. Remember, no bad ideas. Let's send it around. What do you got?
Oh, no, I got one. Y'all remember the Sports Center commercials? Oh, yeah. Imagine Billy the Buffalo in the ticket office.
Tell me that. That's funny.
Right. Tell me that's not funny.
Love that.
Classic.
I know I pitch this every year, but can we please do an anime schedule release video?
Anime video.
Yeah, I get it.
A giant chrysalis.
Okay, well, I just came up with this last night, so it's not fully fleshed out yet. But you know, looks maxing? What if we did something similar to that, but it was schedule maxing? Yeah. Not fully fleshed out, but it could be something. It could go viral. Yeah.
I get that.
Sounds like you're a good idea, Max.
Maybe we could work with Vince Carter. That way we can tap into the Canadian market.
Did you write mine down?
I'm sorry. What was it again? Something about Christmas?
A giant chrysalis.
What's a chrysalis?
Ain't it for butterflies?
Well, it's when caterpillars transform into a butterfly, like a cocoon.
The real slimy joint.
They're actually quite beautiful.
Okay. I wrote it down. All right. Who's next?
Represents a time of change. It's high concept.
Oh, so it's like symbolic.
This would be the perfect year for a giant chrysalis.
Okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. PJ, what was that idea you were telling me about yesterday? I thought that was pretty solid.
I'm going to say what we're all thinking. A giant chrysalis. Gotta be the giant chrysalis.
Should the chrysalis be hanging or standing? All chrysalises hang, Kate.
6 feet tall. A giant chrysalis.
Giant chrysalis.
Giant chrysalis?
All right. We got a lot of really good ideas here, but two of them specifically were the best. I think I know what we're going to do here.
First we play the Texans, then Detroit at home. Chargers passing LA Rams, Raiders on the road. Then we have the bye week, on to Baltimore. Vikings, Jets, and Finns and Chiefs, Patriots once more. Next we play the Packers, then we face the Bears. Broncos, Dolphins, and the Jets. Schedule is here.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Yo, what the was that? All right, let's talk about it.
Wow. I don't even know. What was that? What was that?
The last 3 years, I've been saying this. I don't know what the social media team with the Bills are up to. It started off great, right? I mean, okay, let's just shoot some ideas out. I was like, okay, I'm in it. Let's see what they're going to go with. Josh in the corner saying chrysalis. Okay, where's this going? What the hell's a chrysalis? And then, you know what I'm saying? You had us in the first half. And then, boy, give your initial thoughts. Talk to me about this one.
Listen, you know, Rob's saying random humor. He grew up on Family Guy. I grew up on Family Guy. There are several Family Guy quotes, show episodes where you could mute it. You could mute it, and I could quote back the entire episode. Okay. I don't know if that was Family Guy humor. No. What I got, the vibe I got, have you ever watched, Rico, this is for you, and of course this is for the chat. Have you ever watched I Think You Should Leave? The sketch comedy show on Netflix with Tim Robinson. Have you ever watched that?
No.
That was the angle. And in the beginning, I thought that was what it was going to be because it reminded me exactly of a skit that they did where they were talking about pitching. They were pitching ideas, and there was an old guy in the boardroom who pitched a really bad idea. And then everybody wound up getting on board with it, whatever. They loved it. That's the angle I thought they were going with. I don't know what that was. I don't know. First of all, I don't even know what a chrysalis is. And maybe that's on me. Maybe I should have paid a little bit more attention in science class. Is it?
Nah.
I don't know. Honestly, I'll be honest with you. If they would have just opened up with the Barbershop Quartet and just went right into it, I think I might have been sold on it. If it was just the Barbershop Quartet and they just went with that angle. The whole like in the office vibe, I don't know what that was.
I'm gonna tell you this, man. I get being different. I totally get it. I'm all for that. I'm all for, you mean, separating yourselves. But sometimes when you go too obscure, when you go too much, then you lose people. And then it's like 7 people in a room and there's a joke being said and only 2 people get it. And the rest of us are like, I don't get it. What was it about? And then you got 2 people just hysterically laughing at each other because the joke was just for the 2 of them. That's what it felt like. It's like the social media team and Josh Allen were like, this is hilarious. And that was it. And the rest of us are like,
well, you know how it is, though. Like, maybe if you were in the room, it was funny. Like, you know how that goes. But you're with your buddy, something's hilarious. You tell somebody else, and it's like nobody laughs at you. Maybe that was it. I don't know. I
don't know. It's just like, listen, when they mentioned Scarborough, I was like, I'm with it. They mentioned this, you know what I mean? A part of Toronto, you know, from the GTA, Scarbs, okay. And then I was like, hey, where are they going with this? And then the chrysalis, and then the footage of the butterfly, and then the schedule. Bro, 3 years in a row, bro. AI, this, and I think that last one was Parks Recreation.
Yeah, remember we had to call Jenna in to clarify what they were trying to get at. Remember, a lot of people liked that because they were fans of the show, which that I can sympathize with. I don't watch the show, so I'm out on that.
So am I. And here's another thing too, right? There are moments where you got to let movies, like for instance, what was it? Was it Shawshank Redemption? Where I think it's the Shawshank with the prison movie, he escapes through all that stuff.
Shawshank,
classic movie. It was not known as a classic at the beginning. Quite frankly, it was booed. It was terrible. Years later, somebody gave it another chance and it's become a classic. Is this one of those things where you have to give it a couple days and then we watch it again and it's a classic? No.
I was going to say, to your point, Shawshank Redemption is considered to be maybe the greatest film ever made. I don't know if we're going to be, if we're going to.
Thank you. I don't think we're going to go that route, but it was at the beginning, it was never the greatest film. It was like, yo, we don't want that movie. It was pitched everywhere and nobody said no. And then when it got made, classic afterwards. But this right here, and here's what's going to annoy me the most. We're going to watch others and we're going to be like, that's funny. What's wrong with this social media team? This social media team has been weird all year though. Every victory Monday or Sunday, there's this weird glitchy thing that they celebrate with. I'm like, bro, what drugs are these people on that they get it? But maybe I'm old. I'm born in 84. Maybe this is humor for those that are born in 01. You know what I'm saying? I have no idea.
It wasn't, I think you should leave skit. I'm almost like that's the vibe I got. The thing is, dude, you'd love that. Like, I know we have very similar tastes. Like, you're a big Seinfeld guy, so am I. Yep. Like, I think you would absolutely love that show. It's one of those rare sketch comedies. Like SNL, you almost have to watch 100 sketches before there's one that hits a home run. I could probably name you on one hand throughout the entire series the sketches that don't land in that show. And even the ones that don't land are still watchable. It's probably the best sketch comedy show of all time. The thing is, though, you need somebody like Tim Robinson to sell the awkwardness and the weirdness. I think maybe that was the thing there. Like, we were supposed to get sold on something, but obviously don't have any professional comedian. Can I just say something? Can we just stop talking about it? Let's talk about the schedule. We have already dedicated too much. It's too much time. I'm sorry. I didn't love it. It wasn't for me. Let's talk about the schedule.
Heads up. Didn't love it.
So that's
all
it.
Right, let's go. That's it. Let's go. Let's get it. Let's get into it because week 2 is what I wanted to just jump in on. Lions.
Yes.
Prime time Thursday. Thursday night game, home opener, new stadium. Are you going?
No. I would love to go. I might try to plan and go to either the preseason or the red, white, and blue to get into that stadium before the season kicks off. I will get up there at some
that's
point.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
The thing is, that's going to be a capacity. I guarantee it. In fact, it might be a pricey ticket to get into any of those early, off-season events inside the stadium.
Game, gotta be hit.
Yeah. But I'll get there eventually. Not week one. It's a Thursday nighter, which I just can't swing, I don't think. And I got a feeling a lot of people won't either. And let's start there. I was genuinely shocked. If you want to bring up the schedule, by the way, and we could just kind of look at it. We'll go game by game. I want to try to get
something that's a little bigger. But yeah, keep going.
Good call. I would have bet the house we were looking at a week one primetime game. And if I had to make a side bet, I would have said week one Sunday night football. And if I had to make a side bet to the side bet, I would have made it the New England Patriots. I thought that was what it was going to be. The Patriots wind up getting the first game of the year against the Seahawks. I could not disagree more with that selection for the first game of the season. We just watched that game in February. It was god-awful. I got a bunch of Patriots fans telling me it's a different season. I get that. Show me where the Patriots have dramatically improved to where they are going to be drastically different than what they showed us on the field in that game. Because what they showed us on the field in that game was that they were not even close to the same level as Seattle. You also factor in that their head coach and their organization has been dealing with a national news scandal before the season starts that continues to develop. That's besides the point. I just thought the Bills would be getting week one primetime in the new stadium. And I thought it might have I thought the opponent might be maybe more, an opponent that had more lineage to Buffalo. Obviously, New England does. I thought maybe you could throw the Chiefs in the mix, but I didn't think they would because of Mahomes' injury. But that seemed to not matter because the Chiefs are playing the Broncos in primetime week one, so that didn't matter. Regardless, though, Thursday night against the Lions would not have been what I had pegged. But now that it's official, what's not to love? Look at the last few times the Bills have played the Lions. Must-see television. In fact, Rico, this is one of the more heated debates you and I have got in over the years. You were mad that I didn't think the Bills were going to beat the red-hot Lions, and they wound up doing so. The Lions had a down year last year, right? They missed the playoffs, and it wasn't close to what they were the year prior and the years prior to that where they were on the doorstep of the Super Bowl. They're going into this year, though, with sky-high expectations. They have one of the easiest schedules in terms of strength of schedule. And I do think that they're going to rebound because I do think that team's too good to have a season that they had like last year. The last few times the Bills have played the Lions, it has been incredible. And I got a feeling this one will be just the same, Rico. Out of all of the non-divisional opponents you could have chose, I really thought you couldn't go wrong here. All of the opponents the Bills are facing this year outside of the Jets and the Dolphins, they're all marquee matchups. Don't mind the selection at all. It's going to be epic. You're going up against a team that on any given night can absolutely light fireworks off. You're going up against a team that you've played over the last several years, and every time you have, it's been a lights-out game. And I do think Jim Leonard will have his first true major test here. You're going up against Jahmyr Gibbs. You're going up against Sam Laporta, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown. This offense, when they're humming, they are humming. I know they sorely miss Ben Johnson. It was noticeable last year. We'll see if they can turn it around this year. But Rico, that's an exciting game to start the year off. I would have liked to have seen Sunday night week one, but I'm not going to argue against the Lions primetime game to open up that stadium. How about
I won't
you?
argue with it. I won't argue with it either. I kind of like it. I think the Lions need a bounce back. Ben Johnson leaving them exposed them. So you're not sure what they bring to the table. There was a little something missing with the Detroit Lions last year. And obviously some injuries hit them, but injuries hit everybody. But there was just a little something missing with the Detroit Lions last year. We're about to find out if they can find it again. Obviously losing Aaron Glenn, obviously losing Ben Johnson. So it's a different squad. So do they bounce back in this one? I'm not trying to make a prediction here. I think this is a good matchup for the Bills at home. And barring obviously any injuries, I think this is a great one. Two teams that people love, two underdog teams, two teams that have been in the NFL for some time, and two teams that that people root for. So this is going to be a good one. Bills, Lions, week 2 at home. Listen, empty your piggy banks, baby, because to get to that game is going to cost you a pretty penny. So the Bills better show out and make it a good one. So that's going to be fun. Bills, Lions, week 2, 8:15, Thursday night. I'm not thrilled about Thursday night, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Kick off the Thursday night week. I love that.
By the way, well over 1,000 of you joining us here. The schedule has just officially released about 20 minutes ago. We're going to go through all of it, and then don't you worry. We will be predicting the Buffalo Bills record tonight on May 14th. The far too early prediction, so make sure to stay seated. The Sabres, by the way, just went to the intermission 3-2 at the end of the first period. All right, so I will say that these two games, week 2 and week 3, have something in common to me.
Right. Talk to me.
That I don't like. These are two teams that I think if you were to have come to Buffalo in November or December, the Bills would wax them. You got Lions, they're a dome team. Have you watched Jared Goff play in the conditions? Not ideal. Chargers, that's a West Coast dome team. Their offense is now led by none other than Mike McDaniel. And he was famous for saying it wasn't cold enough in Buffalo, but it often felt like it was a little too cold for those Miami Dolphins. I think the Lions and the Chargers caught massive, massive breaks here. Getting the Buffalo Bills in September where it will more than likely be 60 degrees out and clear conditions. And with the way that new stadium is built with no wind inside, they are getting the Bills in Buffalo in as pristine a conditions as dome teams could possibly have hoped for. Now, the LA Chargers, you want to talk about a team that I just throw my hands up every year and say, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, I'm waiting for them to get to the point where you look at them and talk about them like the Ravens, the Bills, the Chiefs, and then, of course, the Bengals when they decide to show up every other year, right? They have not been able to do that. But I think the Mike McDaniel hire was huge. I'm a big believer in Harbaugh. Justin Herbert, I thought, with what he was working with last year, which was a really, really bad offensive line, a banged-up team, I think when he's on, he's on. This is one of those games where I think the Chargers, it depends on which version of them shows up. Last year, when they kicked the season off against the Chiefs, Herbert played one of the best games of his career. They won that game. But the thing of it is, it feels like when the lights really shine down for the Chargers, Rico, they tend to shrivel up. And another benefit for them here, I think, it's buried in the 1 p.m. window as well. So I think the Chargers really caught a break here in week 3, getting the Bills in September in the 1 p.m. window. What do you make of the Chargers following the Lions? The one benefit to the Bills here, by the way, Rico, 10 days rest before they got to take on LA.
Okay. So there's something about LA that just doesn't do it for me, right? Okay. I love the addition of Mike McDaniels. Love that. I think that's going to give this offense a little bit of what we've seen with the Miami Dolphins. So this is not going to be anything new to the Bills. We know their concept. We know they love to motion, but do they have the athletes on the Chargers that they once had on the Miami Dolphins? That Dolphins team was built on speed. You got a little bit more power with the Chargers. So I'm curious to see how he's going to go out and do their thing. But at the end of the day, listen, I know who their quarterback is. The quarterback can be hit and miss. Can he be big time? I mean, Colin Cowherd, your guy, Colin Cowherd, has him as the number 4 quarterback in the NFL. Is he absolutely out to lunch? Is he on drugs?
Well, be careful, because be careful. He had Allen at 1, so he knows what he's talking about. I
don't give a rat's A. I don't give a rat's A. Listen, I love how people love to get on Emmanuel Ocho because Emmanuel Ocho spews a lot of nonsense. Colin Cowherd says a lot of BS too, and we let it slide. But he's entertaining with it, and we like him. Right? We let it slide. There's some blasphemous things that Colin Cowherd will say, and he'll brush it off and make another absurd
Hey, Rico.
Talk to me.
Ben Simmons is here. We're good.
You can go. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. So
my goat.
Going forward, I think the Chargers are going to be a good game. I think it's going to be a good test. I don't know. I mean, listen, it's a good one. I just don't like you go from Texans at the Texans and at home against the Lions and bringing the Chargers over there. Still warm weather. I think everybody's still in good position in this warm weather. I think Chargers won't be a match for the Bills. I think the Bills will have something, but still a great. I love seeing the Chargers come out. Rookie running back that played last year, great. And Harbaugh's looking to make something happen. So they're trying to bounce back. I don't know if they bounce back against the Bills at that new stadium. I hope good luck comes to that stadium and it's just a vibe and we start winning. That'd be great. So Chargers over there, I love that. West Coast team coming to East Coast, that's a big difference too. So that'll be fun.
Then it's our old pals in the New England Patriots, the 1 p.m. Eastern window. Keep in mind, folks, the Bills have 5 1 p.m. games this year. They play 3 of the 5 in their first 4 weeks. Meaning after October, get ready. Basically, you can roll a dice and whatever it lands on, that's what time the Bills are going to be playing. Okay. Here's New England, 1 p.m. It's in Buffalo. Another thing that will stand out to you here. This is the 3rd game of 3 straight home games for the Buffalo Bills. Patriots, 1 p.m. Let me get your thoughts on New England here, Rico. Last year, they overperformed even the most optimistic Pat fans' expectations. I was high on New England last year. I wasn't that high. I would not have pegged them to be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. But that they were. I think they showed a little bit of their true colors in that Super Bowl. But as many Patriots fans have said in my TikTok mentions, the Bills need to get to one first before you can comment on it. Of course, I have to rest my case. But New England this year, Rico, what do you make of them? And will they be closer to their performance last year, this year, or do you anticipate a step back from New England in 2026?
No, I don't think they take a step back, man. I think they're going to be motivated to make, listen, no team, I mean, it's hard, listen, when you're a representative of the AFC East and you go high up, you want to build on it. I mean, I remember the year that, I think the 2020 year when the Bills were like, yo, we went to the AFC Championship. We're like, bro, we're here? Bro, we're going to build on this. We're going to kill it. We're going to do everything we can to do well. And we did. We built on it. Bro, they have their Josh Allen. They have their head coach, right? If he's going to be around, but I'm sure he will, right? They have the nucleus. They're going to build off of that. They're absolutely going to build off of that. And they should be happy with what they have, especially what they have, the fact that they have a franchise quarterback. So will the Patriots be ready to roll? Abso-freaking-lutely. Will they be ready to defend their title, the AFC East title? Abso-freaking-lutely. Why I like this matchup in week 4 is the Bills get to remind these boys, hold on, just give me a second here. You're lucky. You're just lucky because if it were us and we didn't have that unfortunate mishap that took place with the old Denver Broncos, maybe we're singing a different tune, but we're about to remind you where you belong, and that's beneath us. So week 4 is a tone setter for the AFC East, and that way Bills, Patriots, it's always going to be a classic going forward because you got 2 franchise quarterbacks going at it, but this is a reminder. This is a reminder game. Let me remind you where y'all belong. And by the way, you're at home in Buffalo. So let me put my foot up your ass and let's find out what's going on. So that's how I feel about it. But are you sold on the Patriots? You've had your thoughts on the last couple of years. Drake May, a finalist with MVP. He's now known to be a guy. He's not just a guy. He's a guy now. Are you sold on these Patriots? And can they come in and steal one in Buffalo?
I'm sold enough on New England to where, yes, they can, of course, steal one from Buffalo. I'm sold enough on New England to where I think they are going to be a legitimate contender for the AFC East with the Bills for years to come. I am not sold on the New England Patriots being perennial Super Bowl contenders for the next several years until I see them put together another year that can live up to what last year was. Say what you want about the Buffalo Bills, but every single year they have consistently been right there. They have been the winningest franchise in pro sports over the last half decade. Consistency. I know we don't have a trophy to show for it, but they have been consistently dominant. The New England Patriots last year, the schedule factors in, the run of quarterbacks they had to face in the postseason factors in. I'm jealous as all hell, so don't get it twisted. I'm jealous as all hell of how it panned out for New England last year, and I would have killed to have had that happen for Buffalo, right? With that said, though, I can't overlook it. I do think they're going to be right on the doorstep of a playoff appearance yet again. I do think they'll be right there, especially when you look at the schedule for Buffalo this year. I do think when we come to December, Rico, the Patriots will be right there vying for the AFC East title for a consecutive season here. They absolutely can beat Buffalo. We saw the Miami Dolphins steal one from Buffalo last year, and nobody would have anticipated that. The Patriots certainly can do it again. I'm not nearly as high on them as the results of last year would indicate, but I absolutely do think that they're going to be a pain in the ass for Buffalo for years to come.
I totally agree with this. And this is where it brings us now. The Bills obviously are done with their 3-game slate at home. So hopefully we build some momentum. And then we're going west. We're going west to LA. What's that?
Do you hear that?
Talk to me.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. You want to talk about a game built for primetime, Rico, Week 5, SoFi Stadium, Monday Night Football. It's the NFC Super Bowl favorites against the AFC Super Bowl favorites. I know I mentioned that every time the Bills and the Lions play, it's a great one. Every time the Bills and the Rams get together, it is off the charts. No doubt in my mind, this one will be too. Monday Night Football, Rico, at SoFi. What do you make of this going up against what could be the best team in football here in Week 5?
This is still a very dangerous team. I love listen, there was controversy with the Rams when they drafted Ty Simpson that high. They were like, whoa, that was a second-round draft pick. They said, nah, bro. Ty Simpson was the guy that we wanted. He's the future of this team. However, that wasn't the big deal this offseason with the Rams. Let's not forget, Trent McDuffie. They went and acquired him from the Kansas City Chiefs. They didn't stop there. They went and got Jalen Watson. So they know their weaknesses is on the back end of that defense. And what did they do? They went and got one of the better nickel/corners in this game. Jalen Watson being a top corner in this game as well. And then they re-signed Cam Curl. So they knew where they needed to get better, and that's exactly what they did. And then they went and drafted Ty Simpson. So here's my deal with the Rams. Puka, Devontae, Williams, they're still a damn good team. And you have offensive coordinator, a brilliant, a genius mind. Dude, that's going to be a good team. And I think that we match up well against these boys. And I think we have to get our lick back. That's how I feel about it. Because the last time we played the Rams, man, it was a back-and-forth shootout. And Puka Nacua was an absolute monster in that game. We have to have answers for Puka Nacua. And Devontae Adams obviously is a damn good player. He is getting a little up there in age, but he still can play. That's why we went and did what we did. I understand it. Brandon B must have been looking at the schedule going, okay, Texans, Nico Collins, Lions, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Chargers, they got White Mike in the slot doing his big thing, and then they got Quentin Johnson. Then you got the Patriots. Then you got the Rams. Dude, they got some boys receiving bro, I need to draft my back end. So what does it go? C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Then we have Max Harrison from last year. Then we got the blanket that we have in Christian Benford. And then we went and got IGB. So there was a focus on getting that back end in order. So this game is going to be a good one because you got some firepower on that offensive side of the ball, and defense is going to have to step their game up. So us going west on a Monday night game, this is going to be this is huge, man. Prime time. Week 5? Shoot, let me take that in, and that's going to be a good one. What are your thoughts on the Rams? Do the Bills show fatigue, or are they ramped up, ready to go for these Rams?
You alluded to it. The last time the Bills played the Rams, it was in 2024, early December, 44 LA, 42 Buffalo. It was absolutely nuts. Last time before that was the game I alluded to earlier. It was the season opener in 2022. Rams coming off the Super Bowl championship, and the Bills absolutely wax them. Wax them. I think that the LA Rams are the best team in the National Football League. You look up and down the board, it just doesn't get much better. They have one of the best running back rooms in the league. They have the best wide receiver room in the league, arguably. They have the MVP at quarterback. They have one of the best tight end rooms in the league. You mentioned it. The back end that they secured, courtesy of our best friends in the Kansas City Chiefs, night and day difference to what their secondary was last year. Already have a really stout front on that defense. One of, if not the best coach in the NFL. This team is absolutely loaded from top to bottom. It's in LA. I don't think that that's much of a advantage for the Rams fan base wise. There'll be plenty of Buffalo Bills fans there, I'm sure. But the Bills having to go all the way out to the West Coast is something to consider, especially after you get in a lull of playing 3 consecutive home games. This is your first trip in nearly a month away, and it's all the way on the other side of the country, and it's a Monday night game. It's prime time. You're going to get a really good idea of what the Bills are, not only through this first month, but that game is going to be telling. I think there is no question about it, barring unforeseen circumstances. The Rams are back in the NFC Championship. If I had to put money on it, they're in the Super Bowl for the NFC. This very well could be a Super Bowl preview. This is the best team the Bills will play all year long. It's under the lights. It's on the road. Yeah.
Is that right?
This is a huge test. Yes.
So you feel the Rams are the best team the Bills will face this year?
I think they're the best team in the NFL. So naturally, yeah, I think it's the best team they'll face all year. Yes.
I'm actually shocked by that. Okay. I mean, I'm not, when I say shocked, I'm actually surprised because I'm looking at what the Vikings, like now that they have a quarterback, they could be a decent team. The Ravens will still always be a great team. I think they've done big, but
it's no slight at anybody else, by the way.
No, 100%. I'm not mad at it. But I like it. I like where you're going with this. So Rams, West Coast. See, this is where I like what the NFL did here. I mean, I poo-pooed on the NFL for giving us a slaughterhouse of a first month of football. But then they said, listen, I know it's hard, but we're going to give you 3 games at home in the first month. Then we're going to send you west. We're going to give you back-to-back West Coast games.
On a short week.
On a short week. Here's my question to you. If it were McDermott would make them fly back to Buffalo and then fly back to LA. What do you do here? Do you keep the team on the West Coast for 2 weeks straight, or do you fly back to kind of give them some normalcy? What are your thoughts? Because I remember there was big time conversation when we had back-to-back West Coast, and then McDermott made the team fly back and then come back again. Do you just stay on the West Coast? What are your thoughts?
If it's possible, I'd stay on the West Coast. By the time that game concludes, you're looking at October 13th. The Raiders game is October 18th. So, yeah, I would consider it for sure. If it's possible, why wouldn't you do it? Before we move on to the Raiders game, let's talk about this first month. I mean, come on. Texans, Lions, Chargers, Patriots, Rams. You are looking at essentially what looks like, if you were to look at the playoff bracket,
thank you.
9 months from now, it could very well feature every single one of those teams. Let me ask you this. Going into that Raiders game, what's best case scenario record-wise? What's worst case scenario for the Bills? And what do you think's the most likely outcome there?
Oh, going into that, damn, are we doing that already? Okay.
Each game, but what do you think? What do you think the best possible outcome is? Obviously, it would be undefeated, but I'll frame it a different way. What do you think? What would you be satisfied with going into the Raiders game, record-wise? With that gauntlet?
If realistically speaking, if we can go into that, because that's a tough matchup, man. If we can go into that game with 3 wins, 3 wins. I'm being realistic here. Then I'd be like, okay, listen, we got through a tough month, all right, and we got 3 wins out of these 5 games, 6 games. I'm okay to do it, but then I just don't like that. If I'm getting 3 wins, I got 3 losses on my side, or 2 losses, excuse me. So I don't like the 2 losses. However, you're going to lose some games, so it's got to be that way. But 3 wins, I'm okay with. Obviously, I would like to be undefeated, but 3 wins. What are your thoughts? Are you on the 3 win, or are you like, I don't know if I like this for the Bills? I don't know if the Bills come out with 3 wins.
So, what better way to look at this would be, because it's an even number. What are they going to be going into the bye, right? Because that's 6 games. So 6 games before the bye. As you can see, the bye week is in week 7, pretty much right dab in the middle of the year here. That is as tough of a start to the season as you can possibly have. Luckily for Buffalo, 3 of the games are at home. I think that there's a significant argument, though, that the 2 toughest games of their first 6 are on the road, the Rams and the Texans. So even though you have 3 of the games at home, I think that there is an argument that your toughest tasks are on the road here. The Raiders, 3-win team a season ago, fire Pete Carroll. They now have Fernando. It was an absolute disaster. They had a great offseason. I thought, despite not being able to unload Max Crosby, they added a ton of guys, including Fernando Mendoza. It'll be interesting to see if he's starting by then. I doubt it. I think Kirk Cousins is going to have that gig until something happens, but we know Kirk Cousins, he's been benched before. He's had injury problems before. It's not a guarantee he'll be starting in that football game. The Raiders will be better than a 3-win team that they were in 2025. Hard for me to think that they're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, though. So now you're looking at the bye week. And even though I don't love the fact that the Bills have to go on the road, to LA, and then on a short week, either stay on the West Coast or go back to the West Coast. You're looking at the bye week there, week 7. I do like that the Raiders game is before the bye, and one of your more difficult games is after the bye. I'd much rather have it be that way than, of course, the Ravens in week 6 and the Raiders in week 8. I like that you kind of have a game that you're expected to win before that bye. To me, Rico, 4-2, I'm sleeping like a baby going into the bye week. The Bills are 4-2. I'll say, I'll put it like this: 4-2, I'm sleeping great. 3-3, I got one eye open. Anything below that, and I'm staring at the ceiling.
I'm absolutely with you. I think you're bang on. I'm okay with 4-2, but here's my question to you. It's a tough one. So we're going 4-2. Who are you giving the losses? Who do we lose to?
You want to go through it? Okay, let's do that. We'll go in columns and do our wins and losses. So you know what? A broken clock is still right 2 times a day, Rico. At some point or another, the Bills got to get a win in Houston. And I think this is the time that they do it. I think they're going to get a win in Houston in week 1. They have yet to win out in Houston. And last year, let it be known that despite taking 8 sacks, despite turning the ball over 3 times, and despite scoring 19 points, they had the ball on the outskirts of the red zone to win it on the final drive. I do think that we will get a better version of this offense in this game, despite going up against the number 1 defense. And I don't trust the Houston offense enough to be able to light the scoreboard up. The Bills aren't going to light it up either. But I do think that's a game where 24 points wins it. I think the Bills win a very narrow game there. Then you're taking on the Detroit Lions in week 2. I don't know why. This is just a gut feeling, but I like the Bills winning that football game. With the vibes the vibes at home, that first game in the stadium, it's going to be at an all-time high. This is a Lions team that has shown you that they can put points up on Buffalo, but they have not been able to close out games against Buffalo. And I think that that's going to wind up being the difference. I think the Bills start the season 2-0, and you're feeling really good. You're feeling really, really good. Then I think, oh man, now I'm starting to question myself. I know. Now I'm starting to question myself. I don't see them losing to the Chargers. I just don't. I don't see them losing to the Chargers at home. You talked about it a little bit earlier, and I did as well. The Chargers, to me, are just one of those teams where I shrug my shoulders. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, could they beat the Bills? Yeah. But am I going to bet on them too? Hell no. I wouldn't bet on them. I wouldn't bet them to beat the Bills with your money, Rico. I just don't trust them to be able to do that. But they certainly could. I just don't see it here. I just don't see the Chargers going to Buffalo and winning that game. And part of me thinks that I think that the Patriots are going to come out of the gate the first month struggling. And I really don't want to sit here and say that they're going to start 4-0. So I'll just say this. I think that they are going to be, I think they're going to be 4-2 going into the bye. 4-2 going into the bye. You can throw in wherever you think the wins and losses are going to be. I got them 4-2 going into the bye.
You're like, man, I can't pick a loss.
It's so hard. Because you know how it goes. You win a game you shouldn't. You lose a game you shouldn't.
Yeah.
4-2 to me going into the bye, that's where I see them. How about you?
So here's the way I look at it. I got to be a realist. You have a new defensive coordinator coming into play. You have a first-time head coach, not in the booth, now on the floor. He's on the floor. So things are different. So there's going to be some adjusting that has to take place. I think the Bills go with 3-3. This is a tough one. And it's not a bad thing to go 3-3 in the first few games. I could totally see them losing to the Texans. I could totally see them losing on the first home game against the Lions. I could totally see that happening because it's the jitters are out, the new stadium, and the buzz and focus is not there. So I can see an 0-2 start right off the rip. And then a win against the Chargers, a win, and then maybe a loss against the the Rams, and then a win against the Raiders. So I see a 3-3 start. And then that bye week comes at a great time because you're like, okay, let's regroup before we lose this season early. We don't want to be in the Ravens last year where they're staring at an 0-3 and saying, guys, this is must win. I remember how crazy it sounded to me when the Ravens were saying, guys, it's week 4. We got to win this. It's week 5. If we lose this, we're done. Our season's done. So it's important that the Bills regroup after that bye week, and then ironically they play the Ravens right after the bye. So I find that quite hysterical at the end of the day. But realistically speaking, do I want to see 3-3? No, but I can see 3-3 happening very easily because adjustments are being made. New coach, obviously same familiar coach, but in a new role, in a new scenario, which is on the floor calling plays, and then you got a new defensive coordinator still making pieces and moving things around. So there's going to be some adjusting to a new defensive scheme as well. So look for genius offensive minds to take it full advantage.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact that you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. They make it super simple. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with coverage options tailored to your choices. Plus, you'll see which discounts you may qualify for, like the online quote discount or savings for paying in full. In fact, 99% of Progressive Auto customers earn at least one discount. See if you could save when you switch to Progressive. You'll feel good about making a savvy choice. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little extra cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
Of these new quirks that are going into Buffalo's defense. So 3-3, I see that happening. So bye week. Let's go right after the bye week. The second column, Ravens after the bye. New head coach, a team that drafted pretty well. There's the whole fiasco that happened with Max Crosby, and now they got Trey Hendrickson. What do you make of these Ravens and these Bills right after the bye week? Do you like that matchup? Do you like how that sets up?
This is one of the bigger shocks of the schedule to me. I can't believe this is buried in a 1 p.m. window. I feel like we're used to seeing Bills Ravens in a very prime spot, and this is not it. Now,
good point.
With that said, the Bills have 7 primetime games. You probably couldn't give them an 8th. Somebody had to get sacrificed. We'll talk about the Vikings game in a second here because that one to me is a bit of a head scratcher in primetime. What's not to love here about where they drew them though? 1 p.m. So, there's no additional pressure in a standalone spot. Off the bye, sign me up for that. Because here's one thing you got to consider when it comes to Baltimore. Who coached better against Lamar Jackson than Sean McDermott? I mean, say what you want about Sean McDermott. And if we're not including divisional opponents, I know Pittsburgh will get one on Baltimore, right? The Browns will every now and then. We'll remove that. And we're just talking about outside the AFC North. I don't think anybody has gone toe-to-toe with the Ravens quite like the Bills and the Chiefs have. But Lamar Jackson seems to face some sort of kryptonite when he goes up against Buffalo. Some of his biggest career blunders have come against the Buffalo Bills. And in many ways, the Bills are to the Ravens what the Chiefs have been to the Bills. Now, the funny thing is that the Chiefs have also been that to the Ravens, but the Bills don't have that secondary act or that secondary character, almost like that the sidekick villain, right? But the Bills and the Chiefs have almost been like a tag team villain to the Baltimore Ravens. The thing that's interesting to me here, though, with the success that McDermott had against the Ravens, will it be the same or will it be different in a better or worse way with Jim Leonard and a new scheme? Because I do think that the consistency by the Buffalo Bills defense and Sean McDermott's coaching job against the Ravens showed up nearly every single time they played them. It didn't in week 1 last year, but it did towards the end of the game when they needed it the most. That defense, despite allowing 40 points, they made a couple of big plays in that game to get the Bills back into it, including forcing a Derrick Henry fumble. But to get them after the bye, it's advantage Buffalo. It's advantage Buffalo. There's no games after Baltimore that you're overlooking the Ravens to get to.
Okay.
I like where this game fell for the Bills here, Rico. How about you?
I like it. I think after the bye week, it allows us to regroup, and you're going up against a familiar foe. I mean, it is what it is. Now, you made a good point by saying, hey, McDermott just understood what the Ravens did. But now you have a new regime, like the same way the Bills are got a new defensive coach, new head coach. The Ravens are the same. They might not be bringing the John Harbaugh mentality. I mean, you heard people talk about the Ravens, bro. The guy was predictable. We knew what he was going to do. We knew that even his players were revolting against what John Harbaugh was, what he was relegated to at the end of his tenure with the Ravens. So Bills going up against the Ravens it's almost like a reset after that bye week for the Bills. And I don't know how that's going to shake out. I'm just not sure. I don't know if I can bring in the same mentality of, the Bills always have the Ravens number. Everything's new here. So to me, this is going to be a tough matchup. I can't call it, but I like the fact that we're coming off a bye week in order to kind of get back on track or to get on that winning track, depending on how it goes in the first 6 weeks. So I like that Ravens matchup. I'm not sure about this next one, the Vikings. I'll tell you right now, man, I thought the Vikings were a good team. What held them back was their lack of quarterback. They didn't have a quarterback. JJ McCarthy is absolute, pardon my language, it's absolute ass. He is terrible. Like, cue up Kobe. Tell me how this is it right here. This guy's and he's on the verge potentially being moved. And whether true or not, I have no idea. But Kyler Murray coming in and being paired up with Justin Jefferson. And now you have a different looking team. I don't know how I feel about this game. This is one of those, dare I say, trap games, whether you want to call it a trap game or not. But this is one of those games where I'm like, I don't know about this one. I just don't know. I don't know how we match up. How do you feel about this one?
Trap written all over it. One more thing I want to add. I thought you made a decent or an interesting point about the bye week and the Ravens.
Yeah.
One thing to remember in that game, Sean McDermott in his career was 9-0 off of bye. The bar is awfully high for Joe Brady going into that game.
Point.
Okay. Vikings, round 2.
Yeah.
Of all the games the Bills have in primetime this year, of all the games you could have chosen, they all make sense at initial glance, except for this one. But when you think about it a little more, I think it does make sense. I do think the Vikings are one of those teams that you don't think about throughout the offseason, and you get to the point of the year right around where the Bills are going to play them, the halfway point at week 9.
Okay.
You're going to say, okay, Minnesota. We see this every year with a handful of teams where you're like, okay, I didn't see that coming.
Right.
You nailed it. They're a quarterback away. How do I know that? I watched Sam Darnold win 14 games with this same team 2 years ago. The problem was last year, they let Sam Darnold walk. And it's the one thing I've never been more right on. And I still cannot understand how GMs who are, do an incredible job, because the Vikings have a great team. The fact that they drafted J.J. McCarthy, who I thought in college did not prove at all that he was a first-round draft pick. That Michigan team they won the national championship with had a stout defense and an unbelievable run game. He was a fine college quarterback, but a first-round draft pick that was going to be able to take over your franchise. When you had Sam Darnold resurrect his career, win 14 games, and be on the doorstep of the 1 seed, I did not understand it. That is why the Vikings GM lost his job last year. If Sam Darnold was kept in the building, that would not have happened. And now you look at what's going on in Minnesota. They have Kyler Murray. There was clearly
sidebar. The Montreal Canadiens just tied the game 3-3.
Yeah,
Let's go, baby.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. 3-3. Both have 13 shots on goal. 12 minutes remaining in the second period. Insane game. There was clearly it was time for Kyler Murray to move off of Arizona. And it was time for Arizona to move off of Kyler Murray. Honestly, it felt like it was a couple years overdue. It just felt like those two were no longer a fit. Kevin O'Connell, I love him. I think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. And he is able to get the most out of quarterbacks. The Sam Darnold experiment in year 1, I know he had just as much success, and then, of course, more with Seattle. But you got to remember, before Sam Darnold got to Minnesota, Sam Darnold was considered to be, in the realms of Mitch Trubisky or fill in the blank, guys that were going to be good generational or good long-term backup guys. That's what Sam Darnold was viewed to be. He was viewed to be a solid backup quarterback that you'd love to have on your roster to fill in for your QB1. Not anymore. No one's looking at him like that anymore, and that's because of what Kevin O'Connell got out of him in Minnesota, and he was able to build on that. You got to remember what Kyler Murray was his first couple of years in Arizona with prime DeAndre Hopkins there. That offense, we go back to the Hal Murray. I mean, they were cooking on offense the first couple of years with Arizona, and it just fell off a cliff. That I say all this to say Kevin O'Connell has proven that he can get the most out of QBs, especially QBs that have felt like they've hit a wall. I do think Minnesota is going to be a viable team this year. You said it. This has fishy, smelly, trappy written all over it in a primetime game at the Vikings Stadium. All over it.
I'm with you. I hate to call it a trap game because like it's a good team. They're a good team. They were just a quarterback away from making some things happen. But this is one of those tricky games where you're like, golly, I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. So I agree. I'm with you. Trap game. Now, if you call that a trap game, what do you call the Jets? I know you have absolutely no respect for the Jets. Even if they have a new head coach, even if they've changed things over, even if they bring in a new quarterback, you just don't see it. Do you still feel the same way about the New Jersey Jets this year? Or have you kind of softened up a little bit and say, you know what, they might be a better team than we think?
I think two aspects of that can be true. I still very much feel the same way about the Jets that I've felt about them for the majority of my life. They currently hold the longest drought in all 4 major professional sports in the United States.
Yikes.
There's no secret. They have been perennial bottom feeders, not just in the NFL, but across all sports for the last decade and a half. When I say I need to see it to believe it, that's what I mean. What I will add, though, is that I do think that they have drafted terrifically. And I do think that moving off of Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams to get additional assets because they knew they were not going to be winning with those guys regardless, I thought it was a smart move. Breece Hall, they just extended him. Same with the Dolphins. Boy. By the way, the James Cook contract, Brandon Beane, that was a Hall of Fame contract. Like, for all the things that did not go well for Brandon Beane last year, he made what could end up being his best move of all time on James Cook.
You got to give him credit for it, but you also got to give James Cook credit that he's like, you're not going to lowball me either.
Totally.
So we're going to find a right place for us to. I think it's a fair deal. Deal for both. And look how the landscape changes. Now you got Devin Achane making big time money, like crazy. The market changes like this. By the way,
I think Achane's one of the best running backs in the league. He torches Buffalo every single time they play him. I think Geno makes them better. Justin Fields last year, that experiment was an absolute unequivocal failure to the point where that offense there were games where they like legitimately could not move the ball, including the Bills game. The early season Bills game in New York was I was at that game, was one of the worst offensive performances I have ever seen from a team in my life. Geno, he's not gonna propel the Jets into contention, but I do think he makes them better. I do think that they drafted incredibly well. I do think they have a lot of young talent here. It's not going to happen this year, though. I think the Jets are on their way to being competitive. It's not going to happen this year, and they're certainly not on the level of the Buffalo Bills. They're not beating Buffalo this year in either game.
I think I'm with you. It's not happening. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's go back home to Buffalo, right? We go 2 on the road, and now we're back home to Buffalo against the Miami Dolphins. 1 p.m. slot. Let's start with you, man. I know that the Dolphins stole a game from us last year, and we were like, what the hell did just happen? And not only that, the game that we did win, that was at home on primetime, we barely got away with it. I mean, we won, but they gave us a good tight match. So what are your thoughts? I mean, obviously Tua's gone, McDaniel's gone. Now they have an athletic quarterback. They drafted suspect, but they got Jacob Rodriguez. Defense. Kevin didn't really like the draft that they had. Give me your thoughts on these Dolphins. Anything you want to give us, or are you kind of like still too soon? I don't think they're good enough.
I got something for you.
All right.
And with the first pick of the 2027 NFL draft, Miami Dolphins select Arch Manning, University of Texas. Boom. The Miami Dolphins are going to be the worst team in the NFL.
Wow.
I think it's going to be up in the air between them and the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals play in the toughest division in football. I don't see them winning a game in their division. Arizona, 2 games against San Fran, 2 games against LA, 2 games against Seattle. Good luck. The Dolphins, I think, are going to have a very significant chance to finish the season as the worst team in the NFL. And Damon, listen, listen, even when they had what they had last year, I was never more confident in any game on the slate than I was the Bills going into Miami. But I always did, back to Achane, I always did think there was room for Achane to torch him to the point where they beat him, or there was room for Tyreek Hill to make a play and they beat him. There was always room, and it happened a couple of times, just a couple of times, but it still happened. That team is unrecognizable going into 2026. Head coach, gone. GM, gone. Quarterback, gone. Wide receiver 1, gone. Wide receiver 2, gone. Bradley Chubb, Buffalo Bill. They have essentially lost their entire roster. It's now Malik Willis and Devon Achane with a brand new head coach, a brand new GM. Best of luck to you, Miami. If the Bills lose to the Dolphins in week 11, there are far bigger issues going on at One Bills Drive that need to be addressed. Far bigger issues. This is one of those games of all the games on the schedule, including the Jets. The Bills cannot lose either game to Miami. Absolutely cannot.
I'm going to agree with you in the fact that the Bills will beat Miami. However, I don't think Miami is going to be as bad as we think they will be. Right now, there are guys with no names on there. I get it. A lot of guys with no names. But those are the guys that you got to watch out for because those are guys that are going to make a name for themselves. There used to be a time that the Bills were a whole bunch of guys with no names. But guys like Fred Jackson, you know what I'm saying, kept you in the game and kept them good things. I mean, I'm just going to name a couple, right? I think Willis makes a big difference. You got an athletic quarterback that can move around and that can get the ball out of hand. He's going to keep them in a lot of games. They're still going to lose. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think they're going to be absolutely trashed. I think they're going to make things competitive, but they might still be calling for that number 1 pick. But we'll see how it goes down. But I do have to respect for Malik Willis. I think he's a fine quarterback. The Packers knew what they had in him. He came in and handled business cold off the bench. I think you give him some weapons, he'll be good. I think he's in a tough situation, right? You come in, they commit to you, but how much have they really committed to you? Are they really committed to you like that? We'll soon find out. But I'm with you. They will lose, but they're going to be competitive. They're going to be entertaining to watch. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. Then we move on from the Dolphins. Now we're headed to the Chiefs. I don't know what these Chiefs are going to look like. Travis Kelce's a year older. They got rid of Pacheco, but then they brought in the running back from the Seattle, my guy K9. Then you have a returning quarterback in Mahomes. What do we make of the Chiefs with a coming back from injury Mahomes? Your thoughts? Do we take this one? Is this going to be status quo for the Bills, or the Chiefs come in and say, you know what? F your trap. I'm coming in there and taking care of business. Your thoughts?
Can you believe this? Right around the time Tony Soprano utters, almost time for turkey sandwiches, the Bills will be kicking off the ball against the Kansas City Chiefs on Turkey Day. I mean, the NFL, take a bow. Have you seen the Thanksgiving slate with this being the nightcap? I mean, my goodness. You know, you include the Thanksgiving Eve game, Rams-Packers, unbelievable slate. I cannot believe CBS gave this game up. This will be the first time in the last half decade that the Bills-Chiefs regular season game will not be on CBS with Tony Romo and Jim Nantz on the call. I don't know what NBC gave up. I don't know what they had to do to get this game, but it could not have been easy. Thank God it's at 8:20. I mean, if this game was the 1 p.m. game on Thanksgiving, I've told the story on here before, dating back a handful of years ago, when the Bills played the Lions on Thanksgiving. It came down to Josh Allen throwing one of the greatest throws I have ever seen in my life to Stephon Diggs over the middle of the field.
Nasty.
I was having an episode. My brother-in-law's mother was in town at the house, and she said to me afterwards, she goes, I just sat and watched you for however long. She goes, I've never seen anything like that in my life. She just sat and watched me go through
meltdown,
things that human beings should not go through while watching a television screen. And that's what I did on one of the nation's biggest holidays. So thank God it's at 8:20 when the tryptophan is set in and nobody's going to care that I'm going to be going nuts for one of the games of the year. This is an unbelievable spot to be playing the Kansas City Chiefs. I want to talk about this in a second, but we'll talk about the game itself. The Mahomes injury, it'll be irrelevant week 12.
Yep.
You know, the fact that they have them in primetime week 1, I thought was pretty crazy. Playing Denver, but based on all reports, Mahomes is going to be good to go week 1. Now let's talk about what Kansas City is going into this year. It ain't going to be what they were last year. If you think you're going to get that version of KC again, then I mean,
ship has sailed.
Give me your 2 other wishes you have with the genie, right? Because that's going to be one of them. You're burning one of them on wishing the Chiefs are going to be that bad again. What they have this year is something they have never had under Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And that is a top running back. I think the acquisition of Kenneth Walker is one of the most underrated moves by any team this entire offseason. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in a long time. And last year, their run game was about as bad as anybody else's in the league. And that's why when you tuned in, and look, I know Chiefs fans love to rag on Allen, and I know we love to see Mahomes, get bested week in and week out by their opponent. But you couldn't even hate on Mahomes putting up numbers that were uncharacteristic. If you watched them last year, he was playing backyard ball every single week. They were without receiver after receiver week in and week out. Travis Kelce was a no-show, on any given week as well. And the reason why it was so difficult for Mahomes beyond the outlets Mahomes had at his disposal was he had no run game to coincide. Ever since the departure of Stephon Diggs, I don't think it's that big of a secret as to why the Bills have been able to have tremendous success on offense still. They have one of the best run games in the entire NFL. The Chiefs had a non-existent run game. That changes. And with that change, I think the Chiefs become a whole hell of a lot scarier. They're also, for the first time in forever, not playing a first-place schedule.
Yep.
And I just think the Mahomes injury, the second I saw he cut his hair, I got to tell you, a shiver went down my spine. A shiver went down my spine because that man's locked in, okay? That man tore his ACL in the late stages of the year last year, and if I know him, being who he is, I'm sure he is dedicated every second of every day to get back to where he was 2 years ago. Going into the upcoming season, the Chiefs will be back. This game will be huge. Week 12, implications for the AFC will be massively on the line. The Chiefs will be back. It will be an epic game as they all are. Will we have a happy Thanksgiving, Rico? We will know at 11:30 Eastern on Thanksgiving evening after this one. And I cannot wait for that post game, by the way.
That we will. And for a minute there, when you were talking, I felt like, is he about getting soft on the Chiefs? Is he feeling for them? Is he kind of giving them a bone a little bit? And to that I say, F those Chiefs. I want the smoke with the Chiefs. I want my man to get healthy, and I want to still put belt to ass against those boys. And I was curious to see what the NFL was going to give these boys for the schedule for the Kansas City squad. And obviously they start them off with the Broncos. And then we slide over to the Colts, not bad. And then they get the Falcons. Actually, no, it's not even in order. I'm just curious. I got to get the whole schedule to see what we're looking at here because I want to see if they favored the Chiefs or they were nice. Okay, so they got Denver, Colts, Dolphins, Raiders. Then they have a bye week on week 5. Yikes. Chargers, Seattle, Denver, New York Jets, Atlanta, Arizona. I mean, it's all right. It's not a cupcake, but it's all right. What I do like about this game is there's a lot of parity in this league. So that being said, Chiefs, I think the Bills do take on the Chiefs, and I think they beat the Chiefs. I think Mahomes is going to be, coming back from torn knee, you don't come back the same right off the bit. You don't. You're not Adrian Peterson. Not everybody's an Adrian Peterson. You're going to come back. It's going to take some time for you to get back to it. Yes, you're a quarterback, but you're just not the same. We'll look for him to be that guy the following year. But these athletes today, I don't know what they're on and what doctors they're seeing. They seem to bounce back quite quickly, but he's a little older now too. So give me the Bills, Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs losing to the Bills. Now let's bring it back. Let's bring it back up because after that Chiefs game, all right, and then you're down to the Patriots.
Hold on. Can we just talk about what starts on Thanksgiving?
Talk to me.
What starts on Thanksgiving might be the most insane stretch of football I have ever seen on an NFL schedule in my entire life. You have it up. You have the schedule up.
Oh, I thought you wanted the rest of the NFL. Okay, got it.
No. I'm talking about our Buffalo Bills. What the Buffalo Bills are about to embark on starting on Thanksgiving Day, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. Let me read it aloud to you. Thursday night, Thanksgiving, a holiday, prime time against the Chiefs. The following week, on the road, 4:25 against the reigning AFC champions. The following week, on the road, against the Green Bay Packers in one of the most hostile environments in the NFL on Sunday Night Football. The following week, on Saturday Night Football, one of the hottest teams in the NFL, a team that I think very well could be playing the LA Rams in the NFC Championship this year, the Chicago Bears. Granted, this one's at home, but I think the Bears are going to be damn good this year. Saturday. The following week, Christmas Day, Saturday, or Friday, 4:30 p.m. against the team that knocked you out of the playoffs in the divisional round last year. Let me go through that one more time. Thursday, 8:20. Sunday, 4:25. Sunday, 8:20. Saturday, 8:20. Friday, 4:30. All against playoff teams. Rico, that is one of the most insane stretches of football I have ever seen in my entire life. Ever.
The NFL is sending a message. I don't know what message and who this message is for. I get it. I'm going to say it again. Oh, but they're prime time. We love them. But how do you do that to us? You give us weeks 1 to 5. You give us a gauntlet of games up against the Rams. You gave us the freaking Lions. You give us the Chargers. You gave us the Patriots in there as well. The Rams. And then you got the Texans. Then they said, we're going to lay off you a little bit. Do they really? Because they gave us the Ravens, Vikings, and you got the Chiefs starting in week 12.
That Vikings, Jets, Dolphins stretch right there, Rico, it's the only time of the entire schedule where you could argue that the Bills have somewhat of an advantage. It's the only time.
And even then, it's not really. But you're right. That's the only kind of breather that we have. But you're right, though. That week 12 stretch, why? Why would you do that to someone? Chiefs, then the Patriots, then the Packers and Bears, back-to-back AFC North, and then you give us the Broncos. And here's the deal. You know how it gets down to. Once you get to week 15, this is when things start to scramble around the NFL. This is when we start talking about playoff implications. If that team wins and that team does this, what's the percentage? And then you don't give us a cakewalk. You give us the Bears and Broncos back-to-back, and then we got to finish off with the Dolphins and then the Jets. The Jets, once again, week 18. Golly.
Rico. Within 5 weeks, they play on 4 different days of the week. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Within 5 weeks.
What are they doing to us?
Against all of them against playoff teams. All of them. And you nailed it in the most crucial part of the year. I was talking about this earlier with Dan. If the Bills are 8-3 going into that Chiefs game, it's still not a lock. It's still not a lock with that stretch at the end of the year. How crazy is that?
This is actually going to be a chaotic from Thanksgiving on. Thanksgiving on, by the way, Montreal 4-3. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, I know.
Thanksgiving on is going to be chaotic. So let me tell you something. I'll tell you right now. I truly, it's very early. So don't. I mean, come for me if you want to, but I'm gonna keep it a buck. I think the Bills will be somewhat in the same position as the Ravens last year. If we take a couple bad losses early in the year, we're going to be scrambling going forward. We're going to be in must win from week 5 on. We cannot afford to be losing anything after that, let alone when we get to week 12 on. So we better listen, that first 5 weeks, you better hope the Lions are not what they are. You better hope the Patriots are not what they are, and we keep rolling. Because if everyone's supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do, this might be the year where the Bills say, golly, new head coach, Brady's not the part. We took a flyer on DC, Jim Leonard, and this 3-4 switch has not worked out. I don't want to see this. And you know what it's going to be? You got rid of the wrong guy. You should have kept McDermott. That conversation is going to be going rampant if the Bills screw things up this year. New stadium, new coach, new attitude apparently in Buffalo. You should see it. In Buffalo, it's not the same. It used to be where everything was, you had to walk on eggshells. Now it's a vibe. Well, that vibe better turn into W's when it comes to this season, this upcoming season, because this is a tough schedule. And we'll see. We've said this before where we've had tough schedules and the Bills come out and do 11, 12 wins. Like nothing. like clockwork. I don't know. There's something tells me this year might be a little different. But I'm optimistic.
I'm pessimistic about the Sabres, who have just gone down 5-3 late in the second period. Not good. I'll say this.
Oh, no.
Look at nobody will be more ready for the playoffs than the Buffalo Bills. By hell or high water. You said it earlier, baptism by fire. Look no further than week 12 through week 16. If the Bills roll through that gauntlet, put your Super Bowl bets down. If the Bills roll through that slate, come out with maybe a loss. If they come out of that slate with one loss, get your tickets, get your slips. On the other end, though, if they come out of that stretch, Rico, 2-3, 1-4, like I said earlier, they could be 8-3 going into that Chiefs game. And if they go 1-4 in that stretch, you're looking at 9-7, right?
It won't look.
Or, excuse me. That would be wrong, right? If they're 8, they couldn't be 8-3 going into that, right? Because that would be an 18 game. You know what I mean? If they have 3 losses going into that Chiefs
many games in the first 5, in the first 6 weeks,
that's it.
You better come net positive.
Like, you cannot have your annual we laid an egg game against an inferior. You can't have like you said the Vikings earlier. I don't care if it's a trap game. You cannot lose that game. You cannot lose to the Vikings. You sure as hell cannot lose. You have to go 5-1 in the division. Split with New England. I'll give you that. You cannot lose either Jets or either. If you lose either a Jet or a Dolphins game, you're in some serious trouble.
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Unless you steal another game in this gauntlet that you weren't anticipating. You have got to win the games you should.
I read that the Bills had the 14th hardest schedule.
I mean, listen, Warren Sharp, he's great and the data is accurate, but I don't understand how the hell the data comes out to 14th. This is insane. This schedule, insane.
That's crazy to me. But I'm gonna say this, folks. If you think this McDermott topic of conversation is dead and buried, the minute the Bills start taking L's or L's uncharacteristic L's, you will start to hear McDermott conversation. So there's a lot of pressure on Joe Brady going into this year. And it's whether you want to call it fair or unfair, that's what happens, man. When the coach succeeds, a coach that's been here for nearly a decade and has had success, and you come in and you don't do as well, you're in trouble. You're in trouble.
The last thing you want to be hearing.
Yep.
The last thing you want to be, there's 2 words you don't want to hear throughout the whole season. Sean McDermott.
Oh, no.
Because if you're hearing that,
that's not good.
That ain't good. The only way you want to hear that is from somebody who is all in on McDermott being replaced, and you hear them say, "Told you so." It's the only way. You do not want to hear them say, "Yeah, man, maybe Sean McDermott was a little better than I gave him credit for. Oh, man, maybe Sean McDermott's defense was a little better than I realized. Oh, man, maybe this team was a little better with Sean McDermott, and I didn't quite realize it until now." That's the last thing you want to be hearing. I'm telling you right now, Joe Brady's got his work cut out for him with this gauntlet, man. This is a hell of a way to start your career.
That is, man. Listen, you got get in where you fit in, baby. Get in where you fit in. Like, this was a very, let's just say they decided to go and search for a coaching candidate, which they somewhat did, but I think they knew who they wanted from the jump. This was a big time open vacancy, and you got it with a franchise quarterback in his prime. You cannot waste this. You cannot waste this. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Joe Brady's got up his sleeve to make sure that we are a success for a 9th straight year. Let's roll. We got to make these things happen. So Packers, Bears, Broncos, and we finish off.
No. Don't you
dare.
Do it.
I was gonna do this justice. I can't do that.
No. Let's hone in. Let's hone in on that week 16 game. Okay. Are you kidding me?
It's a goodie.
On the day of all days, of the annual calendar. I mean,
Christmas.
Here's the thing. You're in a way different position. Your kids, Zoe is at that time she will have just turned a year.
Yep.
Okay. We could give her a Ziploc bag with Cheerios in it, and it's a Merry Christmas. You're in a whole different ballgame. I mean, you're ripping gifts with the kids, right? I mean, it's quite literally Christmas Day. 4:30, what's it look like in the house? Like, what, dude, has this hit you yet? Because this was my worst nightmare, and it's coming true.
I just don't want to hear, "Hey, babe, we're doing Christmas at my parents." Bro, what?
No.
Come again? Listen, I'm gonna have to tell you, babe. Either you bring me turkey back, or your parents are coming over, because ain't no way I'm leaving this crib to go all the way to drive an hour to have some dry ass turkey out your place. No, not happening. Secondly, thank goodness we are an hour ahead, so the game's at 5:30. So
that's
by
big.
that time we would have eaten early, which I'll make sure that we do. And now everybody can go and play with their gifts and do what they need to do. Leave daddy alone, because I got a pregame show to do. I got a game to watch, and I have time for me to prepare for the night potting with my boy Z-Bot, because it is going to be nutty. So they're old enough that they can go away. So that's the good thing. Now my 4-year-old, that's a different ball game.
That's what
He'll be sitting right next to daddy. Let's watch this game together, my boy. Now, the question I have for you is, where will you be watching this game? Are you going back home to your parents? Are you with the wifey and her parents? Are they expecting everybody to be kumbaya at the dinner table? We eat at 5:30, and that's what it is. What does your house look like?
That's where expectations will meet reality, Rico. And the reality will be, I will not be singing Kumbaya at the table. I will be singing, hey, hey, out in the living room. Okay? That's what I will be doing. Here's the problem. Okay? I will be watching this game in very non-ideal conditions. Because of Caroline's job, she has to work the holidays. And if it's not Christmas Day, it's Christmas Eve. You have to work either or. Because to make it fair to the whole crew, you have to work either or. Meaning, we cannot go home.
What's her seniority like?
There are people 25, 30 years in on that gig.
She's a baby. She's a kiddo. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So that ain't playing a factor. That ain't a factor. Okay. I'm at a loss for words on this one. Christmas Day in the middle. And here's the thing you got to factor in. Say Christmas in an alternate reality, say Christmas was like October 10th. Okay. It's the biggest holiday of the year. I can deal with it. Do you understand what's going to wind up being on the line in this game against Denver? Do you understand how much I probably view the deck that is the AFC playoff picture to shuffle based on this game? It's going to be huge. This isn't a game that you can watch out of the corner of your eye while you're appeasing the fam on Christmas Day. This is a game where you're pacing, you're sweating, and you're saying to yourself, I cannot believe I am a grown man doing this I am a husband, I am a father, and I am doing this on Christmas Day.
Bro.
And this is what is going to happen. This is what's going to happen. They have got to win that football game, Rico. They have got to win that football game.
Listen, I honestly believe that defense. Listen, that Broncos game was a good game. Don't get me wrong. We shot ourselves in the foot so many damn times. If you think about it. So I don't really I don't view the Broncos as some, bro, watch out for these Broncos. I don't. We killed ourselves.
Oh, we said the same damn thing going into that game. We said the same damn thing.
I'm not looking at this game like, oh no, the big old bad Broncos. No, we're going to go in that week 16 game, barring that we're all healthy, and put belt to A, because it is uncharacteristic for Josh to give up that football that many times. And we were still able to be in the game to win it. So don't give me, I'm not buying it for no one. Miss me with it. Bills are going to go in the week 16 and take care of business. And then we'll rally against the Dolphins and rally against the Jets and get ready for freaking wild card game. I'm not playing no games. That's it. Love my Bills. Broncos. No, not buying it. Talk to me now.
I just cannot believe. I want to take you into what my life was a decade ago. Okay. And this was all your lives too, except I grew up in this. Okay.
Right.
I remember when the Bills Jets color rush game was like the talk of the town. Like, oh my God, I can't believe the Bills are playing in primetime, right? How great is it? Do you see this schedule? Not only are there 7 standalone games, 5 1 p.m. games, where every year the Bills would get, guess how many 1 p.m. games? 16. Okay. Maybe 14 at the minimum. Okay. Thanksgiving, Christmas Day, a Saturday game, 2 Thursday games,
That's a lot.
a Friday game.
That's crazy.
I mean, dude, what the Bills have become. I tweeted this out earlier. Whether you love or hate it, and I hate the holiday. Scott, like, do I love? Don't get me wrong. If I'm a non-Bills fan, I mean, I couldn't be more stoked. You get Green Bay, Chicago, and Buffalo, Denver on Christmas Day. If I have no stake in the game, I'm like, dude, this is the best Christmas of all time, right? But when you got as much stake in the game as we do in week 16, I mean, this is nightmare fuel. If I was a single dude or whatever, like, this is great. Oh my God, I can't wait. This is fun. Like, it's a lot different. And you're in the same boat as me, as so are many others, where it's like, it's Christmas Day. And God only knows how big of an impact this game is going to have on the playoff seeding. It's going to be absolutely massive. But what the Bills have become, and by the way, if you didn't know, this game was a Netflix exclusive game. So make sure to get your subscription renewed in December if you forget to do that. It's just that stretch of games is unbelievable. And I can't believe, I guess what happened here, the Bills were able to dodge the international games, which there are 9 of this year.
Yep.
But the cost of that was playing on both the major holidays of the calendar year.
You know what? I'll take those 2 instead of those international games.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Games.
I'm interested in this. Say both these games were in Buffalo, and say you lived in Buffalo and you could only go to one, or say you had to go to one. Would you go on Thanksgiving or would you go on Christmas Day?
Thanksgiving. There's
no
no
doubt.
question. There's no question.
I couldn't imagine going to a game on Christmas Day. I really couldn't imagine it.
I mean, but there's some people that don't like. Yes, I understand that Christmas is for time and family, and obviously for those religious folks, for time to for remembering, who put us here and the Creator and everything. But there's some people that don't just I don't got no family. Yo, let's roll.
Oh, totally.
Christmas? That's just another day for me. Let's roll. That's how some folks would feel. But yo, Thanksgiving or Christmas? Give me Thanksgiving all day. Thanksgiving all day.
I mean,
Golly,
Thanksgiving, 8:20, like, honestly, it's mint. Like, it's actually perfect because the day's done. And then you get to end the night with the game of the year. But Christmas in the middle of the day is crazy.
Let me ask you this. As a podder, you stream, we podcast. Those night games, are you in? Do you like those night games for then after the game, you got to do a post game? Are you in on that? Do you like that?
I like it when we
From
win.
From a creator standpoint.
When we win, yeah. I mean, I look back at last year. I mean, the night games, dude, we had to sit and talk about that Houston beatdown. We had to sit and talk about that Falcons debacle. We had to sit and talk about blowing the game to the Patriots on Sunday Night Football. So, like, last year was really, really hard.
It was taxing.
It was. I actually don't mind it at all. I like the late night recaps. The reason I actually like that too is because you get to watch all the other games. Like, usually we're potting during a game, whether that be the 4 o'clock slate or the primetime game. Right. I do like when the Bills are primetime that you get to do it and not miss any of the other games.
But it kills me, bro. I'm closing the laptop. You know what I'm saying? And shutting things down, and it's like 3:30.
I know.
I was like, why? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Why do I do this? Oh, that's right. Because I love this team. Yeah, but they lost. But I love this team. Golly. And we got 7 of these suckers. Oh, man. But you know what? I can't be someone that appreciates this and complains at the same time. I got to pick one. You can't be a complainer and an appreciator. You just can't. You can't appreciate these home games and these primetime games and complain about them at the same time.
You'll never catch me complaining other than Christmas Day. I am a huge proponent of primetime. Once again, when you grew up in an era where Bills Browns on Monday Night Football was like the biggest thing that happened in Buffalo in a decade, you appreciate this. Whether you love or hate this schedule, embrace it. This upcoming schedule in 2026 will be one of the most insane years of all time, regardless of how it goes down. not only do you have the slate of games you have, but where they're playing them, the days and the times, and then the new stadium, the new coaching staff. This is going to be one of the craziest seasons in Bills history. I couldn't be more excited about it. And I got a feeling, even though I'm like right now looking at Christmas and I'm like, I'm kind of scared. I think when the day comes, it's going to be awfully exciting. Like, because you're already excited for Christmas Day. And I know when you get older, it's different. Yeah. But like Christmas Day is still, you still, it's Christmas, man. Like you still love Christmas. So you already have that Christmas feeling. And then the Bills in the middle of that is just wild. Dude, what the NFL has become now, where it's all these different days of the week, they take over Christmas now. There's now Thanksgiving Eve, Black Friday, 9 international games. The game, it is just unbelievable what this has turned into. I mean, here we are. There's nearly 1,500 of you beautiful people in here with us, and we are just talking about the schedule. In May, this is what the game has become. And thank God the Bills are good. You know, I mean, when the Bills started getting good is when the Jets were already still bad, and it's been a decade and the Jets are still that bad. Could you imagine continuously living that still? Like, it's just thank God.
I feel for them. You don't, but I feel for them. That's terrible.
You know what's shocking? Go ahead. Sorry.
I was about to say, like, and I know we were once there. We were once there watching these Bills year after year. You more specifically because you grew up in it. You were born in it.
Yeah.
Right? Year after year thinking, oh, maybe this quarterback's going to get us over the hump.
Yeah.
Oh, we drafted that quarterback. He's going to get, okay, we got this new coach. Okay, he's going to really turn this thing around. We did this and lied to ourselves for years.
Yeah.
Until Bean came in and was like, bro, we can't keep doing this, man. We need to get ourselves a quarterback. And then went and made things happen. And godly, we landed on one. But my goodness, we are one denial of a trade away from not even getting to what we got.
Dude.
We could have been a Mason Rudolph-led team.
You could have been a Josh Rosen-led team in the same draft.
Good Lord, man.
I mean, this is why I'll never fault anybody for at the time saying they didn't want to go with Allen. Because, dude, every other attempt at doing this did not work. Like, I understood. I'll never get mad at somebody for, you didn't believe in him. Did anybody? Like, nobody thought Allen was going to be this. Nobody other than Josh Allen and his family. Nobody or Bean and Bean. Bean clearly thought it, and this is why Brandon Bean is still the GM of the Buffalo Bills. That's how great of a draft pick this was. When you draft Josh Allen, your leash is as long as the world is wide, right? So you're damn right. Like what Josh Allen has been, and all of this right here, this schedule right here, that is all because of 17. All of it. Everything you see on your screen here, that is because of one guy.
And here's the nutty part. That draft class in 2018, the Browns passed on Josh Allen not once, but twice. Yeah. Baker Mayfield then took Denzel Ward. My Lord. Anyways, we are where we are. But that Christmas game, Saturday game, the Sunday night against the Packers, bro, like this is great for football fans. Great for football fans. How do you sit there and not enjoy a Bills-Bears game? But I'm going to tell you something. Something about that Bears game. I mean, sometimes a team can just hit lightning in a bottle one year. And the Bears did fantastic. Maybe they dipped this year. Maybe Caleb Williams doesn't look like anything he's supposed to. Maybe those guys, they got rid of DJ Moore thinking, okay, we got some of these young receivers, and they got nothing. You just never know in these games. So you play to win these games. You got to play every game. We'll see how it all shapes out. But like it's going to be fun to see by week 6 into the bye what all these other teams look like. Because we'll be sitting here going, bro, how are the Bears only 2-win team? How are the Broncos only a 4-win team?
I'll go as far as to say this. I can almost guarantee you the Bills in this schedule will be playing the NFC champion and the AFC champion if it's not them.
Oh, I see. Yep.
I would put a large sum of money on that. I would put a large sum of money on the Bills facing both conference champions, and that's including themselves. So should it be them? I would almost guarantee it. That's how tough this schedule is. I think the Bears could go to the Super Bowl. I think the Rams could go to the Super Bowl. And then the AFC, it could be the Broncos, it could be the Texans, it could be the Chiefs, obviously, it could be the Ravens. Yep. It's nuts.
It's wide open.
You know what stood out to me, though, on this schedule, especially for the Bills having a new stadium? Did something pop out to you in terms of the primetime games? No home Sunday night football game.
Why did that pop out to you, though?
Because Sunday night football is the marquee game of. Oh wait, no, timeout. You know what? It's the Chiefs game is on NBC. So I guess that's what replaces it. My bad. But there is no game on Sunday night in Buffalo. That Chiefs game's a Thursday, and the Bears game's a Saturday.
Yeah.
I just thought that was interesting. I really did think that they were going to open the year on Sunday Night Football. Wow, my man, he's confident. I love it, man. Oh my God, would I love that? Would I love that? As we pan out, Rico, as we pan out on the full schedule here,
right?
What's the ceiling? What's the floor for these Buffalo Bills in 2026 when you look at this schedule?
That is a great question, my good man. What are your thoughts? I'll let you jump in first. What are you thinking? What do you see?
I think that I think the floor. I think the floor is 9-8. I think the floor is 9-8. And that would be the worst season the Bills have had since Josh Allen's rookie year. That's how tough I look at this schedule to be. 9-8. That's the floor.
Let me see what the chat is saying. The chat right now.
Chat's on the same page as me.
Give me your floors for the records, folks. 10-7. My man Chet says that's how I see it. My man says,
Koala's preaching.
Koala says, my man says, I rebuke you, Z-Bot. I ain't trying to hear all that.
And I hope you're damn right, Whit. You know I do. That's the floor. The ceiling to me is 13-3.
Listen, this I think the floor and the ceiling are going to be really close to a game or two.
I think you're on.
Listen, 11. What is it? If my math is right, 11-5. Right? I say 11-5.
11-6. That's what it would be.
11-6 ceiling. Honestly, 11-6 ceiling. It's a tough schedule, man.
Yeah. 11
ceiling. And if it's a bomb disaster of a year, less than 8 wins, right? 7 wins, 7-9.
If Whit rebukes me, I don't know what he's feeling.
He's rebuking me. He's absolutely rebuking me for sure. 11. I'll say 7-9. Am I right? No, 7-10. What's wrong with my math? 7-10 or 11-7.
You imagine the conversation surrounding Brady and Leonard if the Bills go 7-10.
But we'll already know where the season's heading if we're at 7.
Dude, we'll know going into the bye week. There's no doubt in my mind.
We'll already know. Oh, here he is.
No doubt about it. So was I. There it is. Yeah, like clockwork. Once again, though, like I said earlier, a broken clock is right twice a day, and I'm waiting for Pierre's broken clock to be right one of these times.
Pierre's gonna clip me saying, "See, there goes Rico again, be negative as ever, bro." It's a tough schedule. And this is way early. You know what I'm saying? Us putting it out there, but that's a great question. What is the floor? What's the ceiling? Floor, we missed the playoffs, obviously, and it's a 7-win season. I'm looking at 11, maybe 12 wins as our ceiling.
So let's factor in. Let's give them 5 wins in the division. Let's split with New England. Let's give them 2 wins against Miami, 2 wins against the Jets. So that's 5 wins.
Okay.
Let's give them a win again. These are all the games that they should win, right? So let's give them 5 division wins. Let's give them a win against the Raiders. Let's give them a win against the Vikings. So the games you should win, Rico, where there'll be significant favorites, that only gets you to 7 wins. Meaning, at the bare minimum, you are going to have to win 3 toss-up games. More than likely 4 or 5 in order to feel comfortable. Because at 4, you're at 11 wins. That's probably getting you in. 10 might get you in, but I don't know. It's not a guarantee. But 11's probably getting you in. 12's definitely getting you in.
So you said, 6, 7 wins?
7 wins if you give them every game that on paper that they'll be massive favorites in.
7. You know what? Oh, that's a good scenario. That's a great scenario.
If they're 4-2 at the bye, I'm feeling really, really good, especially if we consider how they lose.
Okay, we split 3-3 though. Let's say we split 3-3.
Yeah.
Forget about 4-2. That's easy. We split 3-3. That's when things become tough. Now you're like, shoot.
Yes. And you want to know what it would come down to me after that? It will come down heavily to that Ravens game. Because if you're 3-3, I think 3-3, if you beat Baltimore, very quickly can become 7-3. Vikings, Jets, Dolphins after Baltimore.
Absolutely.
So that would be to me, the Ravens would be a must-win game if you're 3-3 in the bye.
I'm going to put a star next to that game because that's a big one.
Because to me,
you bring your momentum.
Yes, I think at the bare minimum, Rico, you got to be 7-3 going into Thanksgiving against the Chiefs with that gauntlet at the end of the year. You got to be at least 7-3.
I agree. That is a big one. And even the Chiefs take it. You know what? 7-3 would be great. So if you're giving me 7-3, so that's who cares how it goes down,
right?
We just gotta run that table. That little window. You said it earlier. That little window.
Yes.
From what week? My math is what is that? Week what? 8 from after the bye.
Vikings, Jets, Dolphins. You cannot lose a single one of those games.
That little window right here. And this
is the only window.
Usually, this is in the season where we usually give one away.
Right.
Atlanta wasn't that in the middle of the pack of that season where we gave it week 6? Was it that we lost to Atlanta?
Right in the middle.
Right? It's in that middle where we just tend to lull and then we let teams be where they're not supposed to be. So that little window is where we have to capitalize. That's a great point. Great point. My man Whittle comes in and says, Rams, Chargers, Texans, KC, Minnesota are the only games I'm worried about.
Wow. That's an interesting list of teams.
Chargers in there. He put Chargers in there. Rams, Chargers, Texans, KC, Minnesota.
I would not have included Chargers or Vikings on that list. That's interesting. So no concern for the Bears.
The Vikings, though. Vikings were kind of like,
Yeah, but if you're looking at this in terms of making your hierarchy of concern based on opponent, would Minnesota crack your top 5?
No, I'd probably take the Bears before Minnesota.
I think your toughest games, I think it's Rams. I think it's, dude, honestly, that's actually really tough to do. Yeah, that's tough.
Listen, the toughest one right now, I'm telling you right now, is that Texans game. That Texans game is the one that's screaming at me. Week 1 against the Texans. That's a tone setter. Lions are damn good. They're trying to bounce back. They're trying not to be I wouldn't call it a laughing stock, but they're not trying to get beat down in the new stadium. They're coming to ruin our parade in the new stadium.
Yeah, no doubt. So and Dan Campbell will have those boys fired up.
Jeez, man. Those listen, I love that question though. Ceiling and what is the floor? Aye. That's gonna be something.
Well, folks, the floor is being reached, by the way, by the Buffalo Sabres, who are now down 6-3 in the third period.
Right.
Oh man. If you just had to throw a record out, top of your head, gut feeling, what is it?
11 wins.
Yep. I think that's probably dead.
That's all. I see 11 wins, and some folks might say, "Well, why you acting scared?" Right? Nah, but it's not about being scared, bro. It's just about knowing what's up. Like we cannot forget what we're going into the season. Okay. We have a new defensive coordinator switching schemes from a 4-3 to a 3-4. So we have to switch some things around. We have guys I know that we were talking about like we need a big boy in the middle and we don't have that. Well, this defense is not predicated on that. They're predicated on fast and speed. We are making some changes. And now you have a new head coach that hasn't been under that pressure like McDermott was. So there's a lot coming into this season where we have to kind of we can't just say, hey, we're meant to, win all these games because we're the Buffalo Bills. Nah, things have changed. Things have changed. The same way we're talking about the Chiefs. He's coming, Mahomes coming off an AC. You got an older vet in Travis Kelce. We don't know what he's going to bring. Andy Reid, what I'm saying? Like, is he nearly done? What's going on with the Chiefs? Who knows? Things have changed. Things will change. So 11 wins. I see 11 wins. 12 wins. Yeah, I see people saying 12 wins. Great.
I'd be thrilled.
They give me 14. I'm taking that.
14, we're going to the bowl. Somebody mentioned it to me earlier. The Bills could wind up playing on 3 holidays this year, Rico. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Valentine's Day.
Watch out. Are we going to White Castle this year?
Not if the Bills are in the bowl. We ain't. We're getting that. We're getting that catered. My God, Caroline's going to leave me. If the Bills make it to the Super Bowl, I think I might be. I might be in couples counseling.
Yeah, couples therapy, baby.
Oh my goodness.
That's why I look good.
Are you getting up at midnight for Drake's Iceman release? Are you getting up and putting it on the speakers or what?
You know, let me. I'm just gonna say this for a quick second on this Drake release before we get out of here. I absolutely can't stand people, right? Drake was like everyone's dude, right? When an album drops for Drake, we're all over it. Kendrick puts out a little something, and the battle happens 2 years ago, and then we're where we are. All of a sudden, Iceman has been anticipated. It's been the most anticipated album, right? Coming into this year, we're waiting for it, and that 1 a.m. and wherever the heck he is. Oh, that's some trash. Oh, his bars are weak. Oh, this is, bro, enough. Y'all are going to be bumping every single track in that album, and I don't want to hear nothing about it. Like he's just, all of a sudden his pen doesn't work anymore. Boy, please. Bunch of haters in this chat. There's a bunch of haters out there. Y'all are going to enjoy this Iceman. He's going to be clapping back at everybody. And you know what I'm saying? And that's what it's going to go. That's where it's going to be.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. I hope it's like a legitimate rap album. The last few albums have been kind of like not that.
Man, when you've been on top for a long time, it's hard to give the people. I mean, listen, it's hard to be an artist. It's hard to be an artist. I don't know how these guys do it, man. Because like we are in the society now today, we are like, you can't like, you need to give me something more. Give me something new. Like, and like they can be giving you the newest stuff. We'll sit there and be like, man, that's mid. That's mid.
I know. It's so hard to please everybody. It's impossible.
You can't please everybody. And then meanwhile, you got somebody listen to like, I don't know, Kodak Black. I'm talking about Kodak Black is nice. Boy, please. You know what I mean? I listen to Kodak Black. I listen to Juicebox Iceman. I don't know who the heck these, you know what I'm saying? All these clowns that are out there. I just can't. Maybe it's the old man in me.
Super chats? Okay. What do you say before we close up?
Oh, yeah. We got to respect the super chats, baby. By the way, we got ourselves a new member to the squad.
Damn right we do.
What up, my Marcus? Man, Marcus Warren. What's up, baby? We appreciate you. Welcome to the squad, baby. Let's go. We got my man Jam 2020. So Texans are going to be a run-heavy adding Montgomery, so the defense will be tested quickly. The DJ Moore trade will be tested early. Also kind of scary, not going to lie. Listen, everybody's going to be tested. Pieces were moved around the NFL. And listen, the KC's got themselves a run game now, so the philosophy changes a little bit. They're not going to be so reliant on the pass. The Bills now have some balance on the offensive side of the ball. We can run the football. Defensively, we shored up on the defensive line. So everybody made some moves. So we're going to see how things shake out.
Great point, by the way, there from Jay Ham. And David Montgomery, Sonic and Knuckles out in Detroit no longer. That's a big pickup for Houston because clearly last year when they were solely relying on the pass, they could not win. If David Montgomery can be what he was in Detroit, you got Woody Marks there alongside of him, good young back there. That's a big acquisition for Houston.
I think that's going to be big. That gives him a little bit of control, and a guy that's a veteran, that's a dog. That boy a dog. Even when his interviews, I don't know if you've ever seen his interviews. He don't play. Yeah. He's not one that likes to kiki and ha. Yeah. He's not a guy that plays around a lot. What's our guy Money Mitch saying, man?
The lead Robster. Busy watching the Sabres. Oh, well, I apologize. And when you're watching this back, Money Mitch, was not our night. So I'll check out the stream after the fact. By the way, Buffalo Fanatics is the best in history.
Money Mitch.
Let him know, Money Mitch, our guy.
I like it. Listen, our guy Jam 2020 comes back and says, hey, Bills escaped the holiday games for a while. Netflix having gotten Josh Allen football. It was only a matter of time they argue for the taste of some. Listen, man, everybody wants a little bit of Josh. Everybody wants a little bit of Josh. But I'll tell you that, Josh, I don't know. Josh needs to get out of that whether it's him or it's somebody else, but him being in the room when you guys are making the social media schedule releases, get him out of there. Get him out of there. If it was Josh's idea to bring in Keon Coleman, get him out of there. I like Keon. Don't get me wrong, but don't be letting Josh make these decisions no more. Talk about what was it? Chrysalis?
I have
Chrysalis?
no idea.
Come on.
Terrible. I don't know.
Dan, what up, Dan? Dan comes in as 62 months as a member. Appreciate you, man. We're not gonna hear "Here It Comes," Jim.
Here it comes, Jim.
Here it is, Jim. Here it comes. We're definitely not gonna be hearing that. It'll be sad. It'll be another moment.
Sorry, I love Romo. I don't care. I love him.
I like Romo too, man, but it gets a little too much sometimes.
I know.
Here it is, Jim. There it is. When that cat was on the field, my gosh, she was like, and they played that thing. Too funny. Jam says Josh Allen is officially the face of the league. Oh, he been the face of the league, bro. He been the face of the league. And if you want to make it official, so be it. But that brother been the face. Week 4 versus the Pats. I got my tickets locked in.
Nice. Good for you.
Good for you, bro. Good for you. You got to get your tickets in, bro. Got it. Did you see what the Bills put the tickets on for sale? $900 tickets.
All right. First of all, that's been a very heavy topic of conversation.
The Bills tickets are on now. I'm gonna go look at it now.
That's been a major topic of conversation in my TikTok comment section, folks.
No,
don't
the prices are wild. Don't let's not cap. The prices are wild.
No. I know, but I'm saying, do not buy your tickets in May.
Oh yeah.
Wait it out. Please listen to me. Do not do it.
Yeah,
wait
but these people are going to sell out. We need to get them now.
No, I have bought tickets in line to get into the game. In line. Please, if you take anything from the show, wait. If you want to go to a game, wait it out. Please do not pay that money.
I'm just taking a quick look to see what the ticket. I'm curious what the Bills are selling these tickets for. But,
they're not selling them for $900. People are trying to pay their seasons off in a game, and I don't blame them if you can get that money. Go ahead.
Wild? If you could do that, that's crazy.
I could never justify $900 to go watch a week 3 game. You know what
So, what do you think a preseason game ticket would cost?
So, by the way, they released the preseason schedule. You see that?
Yep.
They have 2 home preseason games.
We got the Panthers. So, if I wanted to give me a seat in. You wouldn't know. What seat? Let's just say.
I wouldn't care. I just want to go walk around the building for the preseason game. That's what I want.
So preseason, I'm gonna let me just
give me the cheapest, absolute cheapest get in price.
Okay, so cheapest get in price. Let me. I had it here. Let me look it up. So let me go. How nosebleed can I go?
Put me on the roof.
Ticket. $221 for a ticket.
Come on.
Cheapest ticket. $221. That's a lie. $163. Section 435, row 20.
I wouldn't pay a cent more than $75, and even if I did that, I'd feel sick about it.
You lie.
For preseason, you would pay $160 for a preseason game.
Preseason ticket $163. Are you insane? That's what they're trying to get you on.
What's the most you'd pay
for a ticket? Preseason or just regular?
No, preseason.
$50, man. Are you kidding me?
That's what I'm saying.
$50 that's max. And then you're gonna charge me an arm and a leg for a hot dog and popcorn. Get out of here.
Oh, you know we're splurging at the new high mark. We're going crazy in there.
Let me see what we got here. We got my man Jam coming in. Oh, hold on. We got my guy Koala says, if Brady, here's a question for you. If Brady has a team 3-3, we kind of talked about it, 2-4, would you feel different if it were McDermott?
It won't matter if I would feel different because that's all anybody's going to talk about.
That
you know
is
what
true.
I mean, Koala? They have got to go minimum 4-2 for this to not be a topic of conversation.
Yeah, they got to.
And they also can't get worked. Like, if you lose a couple games at the buzzer, fine. Like the Bills, the one thing under McDermott, they never, ever got worked. There was one time, and I was at the game, Indianapolis Colts at home. Jonathan Taylor looked like Barry Sanders. Other than that, the Bills never, ever got worked.
We've always been in a game.
Yep,
we never
every time
blown out. Yeah, that's true. That's facts. That's facts. Jeff says, I ain't gonna lie. Looking at the schedule, the Bills need only 2 losses going into Thanksgiving, or it might be chips for the season. I don't
3.
know, man.
Well, J-Ham's close with us. We said 3. We said 3 going into Thanksgiving felt like the max.
Yeah, absolutely. Richie Fresh, what up, Richie? 9 months as a member. We appreciate you, my G. I got to be honest, boys, man. 13-4, the way it's laid out here, man. Just booked hotel for Vegas. Hope to see you there, boys.
Yeah, Richie.
I like that,
guy.
Richie. I like it. Don Cali comes in, living in SoCal, having back-to-back LA and Vegas will put a dent in my 401k. Early buy stinks. Go Bills. Listen, man. You got to go to one of those games, guy. Don. You got to go to one of those games, one or the other. You got to. Secondly, I don't quite like the buy being that early. I'm not going to lie.
When would you prefer it? Like week 10?
Yes. Right in the middle-ish. You know what I'm saying? But week 7, because like after that, bro, that's it. We're going to be dipping into that. We're going to be dipping.
Well, could be worse. Didn't you say the Chiefs are week 5?
Yeah, week 5 for the Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't see that sucks.
Give these guys a break. My gosh. J-Ham. Don't forget, McDermott never lost 3 in a row, baby. Hey.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that McDermott didn't do in a good way. I mean, I'm telling you, we will find out. That is what will happen.
Listen, we're going to put that on the t-shirt, bro. We're going to do it. My newbie driver comes in. Yo, what's up, Rico Z?
What up,
I want to place a bet that Keon makes Offensive Player of the Year top 5 this year. How do I do it? Love the show. Listen.
I don't know.
I mean, listen, they keep talking about how Keon's going to be this and Keon going to be that.
I'm ready.
So how much Keon does to make that happen, that is what we're going to be waiting for.
I'm ready, baby. I am ready for it.
We're all ready. All right. Roger comes in and says, yo, Josh Allen will miss his kid's first Thanksgiving and Christmas. Dude.
Yeah, that is a tough draw for 17.
Dude,
I'm pretty sure it's his first holidays as a married man as well, or maybe it's just second. I don't know. I can't remember, but either way, it's a tough draw.
You got married last year, right? Was it last year or just this summer? I can't remember.
I don't know. Ask Stydoc. He'll know off the top of his head. I guarantee it.
He will know. But yeah, missing Christmas and Thanksgiving. Christmas with the little one? Oh, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, unless they do Christmas the day before, call it a day.
Listen, it's all the more incentive to be up by 30 going into the 4th, so you can go and look at wifey and baby up in the suite.
Hell freaking yeah, man. Josh Richardson, what up, JR? 72 months, love it. What up, fellas? The Bills are winning 13 games. Josh Allen will let this team fail. This will be the year we go to the Super Bowl. I'm not worried about this team being bad, man. Every time, listen, man. I don't want to get
ready.
Are you ready for that?
Too late. I'm so ready.
17 months in, my man, get right. I can legitimately say I'm confident in the offense will be top 10 and the defense scheme to be top 15. We will be upwards of 12 plus wins with those units performing at the clip. Book it. Listen, get right. If that's the case, bro, sign me the hell up.
That gets you to the Super Bowl right there. Yeah. That is what gets you there. You need the offense to be what it's been. You need the offense top 15.
Top 15, you're in the money. You're in the money. Bro, how crazy would it be if the Sabres can, I mean, obviously it's a wrap. The Sabres not winning this one. But if the Sabres can do some damage and the Bills do some damage this year, that'd be too nasty. Nasty. But yeah, man, talk about these tickets, man. These tickets are going to be nasty, man. So if you're going to get some preseason tickets, folks, go ahead and get them now. Preseason. $163 was the cheapest ticket I saw. I can only imagine what these other games are going to be like, because that is absolutely insane. Absolutely freaking insane. But here we are. Talking about these Bills.
The cost of success. How about it, Rico? That's 2.5 hours in the books on a Thursday in May. Schedule release.
Who the hell do we think we are?
And we think we're the mother effing Buffalo Fanatics, and we cannot wait for the 2026 season, folks. New stadium, 7 standalone games, a Thursday game, a Friday game, a Saturday game, all the Sunday games. It's going to be one of the wildest rides we've been on as Bills fans. We cannot wait to spend it with you, and we really appreciate you spending the schedule release with us. Rico, you got anything for the folks before we close up shop?
Listen, not a whole lot coming from me. I'm going to be putting some more reels out for you guys. You guys seem to have gravitated towards that, so we're going to be doing that. Catch me on Bleacher Report like I normally do. Other than that, folks, listen, we're taking this little break here and there. You guys know this is that season where there's a whole not a lot of going on. The Lakers are you know what I mean? They got swept. They got sent packing. You know what I'm saying? The World Cup is around the corner. So there's a whole lot going later on. But right now, listen, there's that little lull. So be patient with us. We're going to get some content out there. You know how that goes. There's that little break that we take. But other than that, man, keep tuning in. Keep showing us some love, and we'll go from there. What do you guys, Z-Bot?
Got nothing but love for each and every one of you. Over 1,500 of you in the building for schedule release. The show out for the draft was unbelievable. You guys are unbelievable. We appreciate every single one of you. Thanks so much for spending the schedule release with us. We can't wait to spend the full schedule with you as it approaches. But for now, enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Enjoy the weekend. Much love as always. And go Bills.
Go Bills.
This podcast episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.